guys can, I was going to say pretend like I know nothing, but I honestly don't. So don't even pretend. What is the orange merch? What's that all about?
Why did you say let's hit record before we do? Like, this is great content.
People will love this.
It's just I don't know what the specifics of why this particular, but it's just a loyalist day.
So you know William of Orange, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know William of Orange.
I remember his
probably some
name rings a bell.
Dutch bloke who was probably a Protestant, I think.
Is that why orange? Because like the football?
Yeah. I learned this when Michelle was doing her Life in the UK test. That was literally...
Wow.
Before that, I had no idea. I thought the Battle of the Boyne was
They showed a picture of some green Irishmen and some orange Irish. Like, which one are the baddies? Think carefully before you press the button.
Because it's on my birthday. Whenever you get a calendar here, obviously, because in Northern Ireland, I assume it's a bank holiday, or it's just a marked day.
I'm not sure what it is. Yeah, I don't think
on my birthday, it always says Battle of the Boyne, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I assumed because the only battles I knew were like World War 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So I was assuming it was some like famous World War II battle. And then during Michelle's Life in the UK test, where you have to learn a little bit about the history of like, this fucking king was a Catholic, and this one was and then we switched to this, and then we switched back, and then all this shit 400 years ago. And then I found out what it was all about, and I kind of wish I hadn't really, because it hasn't added anything to my life. But then, apparently, well, I don't know, Barry probably knows more. But then, there's lads in Scotland and in Ireland who march about banging a drum and a whistle, and then that's England's fault, I think. So sorry.
It's funny though, because we associate the tin whistle with the orange men a lot down here, but also but also everyone gets taught that in school here. I'm like, lads, it's not racist. It's just a bad instrument. It's just a terrible instrument.
I learned the recorder at school, not the tin whistle.
Which is how Paul was more posh than me, and he went to a posher school than me. Us plebeians learned tin whistle. If you went to a posher school, you learned recorder. That was always the way. That was always the key distinction growing up. I was there blowing on a tiny little bit of tin that fell off the back of the truck, whereas Paul was playing a fancy device called the recorder.
Barry's on the bottom deck of the Titanic playing his tin whistle.
My tin whistle, fighting the orange men.
Paul's in a lifeboat playing his recorder, saying, "Let him fucking drown.
Let him drown."
Stop.
That funny recording of "My Heart Will Go On" that's a meme. That's actually me playing it at school.
But I was telling Paul off air, I was like, this is why he has to watch Dairy Girls, right? He'll learn his history.
Yeah,
I learn a lot.
And it's funny in that, right?
I call it London Dairy Girls.
Hey, there he goes. There you go. Very good.
Okay, I'll do some reading on this.
Well, we've told you all the main bits. There's orange fellas, there's tin whistles. That's
the Orange Order. My God.
Yeah, and it's the Glorious 12th, they call it, right? Celebrating Joe's birthday.
Was the Orange Order what they're originally going to call Hulk Hogan's WCW?
There's no Catholic maniacs here, brother.
Okay.
They all believe in transubstantiation.
Let's get rolling here. So,
okay. ChairShot Podcast coming to you here on another very warm Sunday evening. We had a little reprieve. Last week was okay. But as we record this, dear listener, 27 crisp degrees in sunny old Limerick. I'd imagine it's much the same, although I guess probably a bit steeper where you are, Paul.
No, 24.
Oh, you're actually a bit milder. Okay. See, it was funny because during the week it was like 24, 25 down here. And that used to drive me mental, but relative to how bad it's been lately, I actually thought that was all right. I was like, 24 is nothing now, baby.
Well, even though you and I are on the same time zone, I'm actually closer to night than you are by virtue of being east and you're on the west. So
I'll take your word on that.
It hasn't quite started going down where you are, I guess.
No, the sun doesn't start going down here until like 10 where I am. Yeah, it's mental.
True.
Hope you're all keeping cool wherever you are. Also with us, presumably also boiling alive, is Joe Towner, the birthday boy.
Yeah, very, very hot today. Thank you. Yeah, very, very warm. I feel like it's been about 6 weeks now. We've had non-stop 30-degree weather. I've kind of just gotten used to it at this point. I've forgotten that it's not always this hot. I feel like I'm in Greece or something, like on holiday. It's just mad. Like it's just new reality. But yeah, so
I went on a walk in the week and I had sun cream on. to avoid getting burned. And like you said, it was 30 degrees, and the smell of the sun cream did make me feel like I was on holidays.
Yeah. So we've been putting it on because Michelle's a real stickler for the sun cream, which is good. Yeah. I'm a bit
like... You got to have your sun cream?
You've got to put it on. I just hate it. You get all sticky and you smell of Chris. I don't mind the holiday feeling, but yeah, putting cream on every day. But we have been doing it every day just because, I go to the office, be outside for 20 minutes.
In fact, I don't know if you boys are going to be able to see this.
Oh.
See my little...
Tan line.
Yeah, because I wear my little Fitbit watch, and I've got the classic tan line underneath it now, just from the little heat wave we had here. And the weather was nice. It's actually affected my jogging a bit. I tried to do a jog in the week, and it was 30 degrees.
No.
And I did 3 kilometers, and I was fucked. I just couldn't. It was too hot, sweat, head to toe sweat. And I waited until the temperature went down to about 21 degrees. This was at 11 p.m. and I went for another jog. I did 10 kilometers.
Oh my God.
So the heat really can affect your ability. That's my first 10K I've done, by the way. So I've hit the mark finally. 2 months, 3 months since I started running. So I'll start doing 10K jogs, 1 a week, and then 2 5s. But I can't jog until literally almost midnight because it's too hot. So
that's going to put a downer on your your goals.
A little bit. I mean, I don't mind running late, but that was a bit dangerous, isn't it?
It is a bit dangerous. I don't think the dog out in this heat, so I would expect you to be out in it. All right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Look after your little pads.
That's my little belly.
What? Oh God.
Anyway, Joe, you and I were discussing your favorite football team in the world, England. They've made it to another World Cup semi-final. I was thinking, have they been in a World Cup final since '66?
No.
So
it's only our third semi-final since then.
2018, right?
Yeah, 2018.
And what before that?
1990. Yeah, we were terrible for years. Like this, people are spoiled now. Like people slag off the team, but they forget that like from about, I'd say 1972 through to Gareth Southgate taking over, complete shit. Like we never got past
final team.
We had a couple of semi-finals in that, 30, 40, that whole period. Whereas, I think things have really obviously changed just in terms of producing the right players and the right approach in the England team as well. Has just made it that we were a bit more likely to get to the end. So to me, I see obviously I want them to win and I'll be devastated if they lose to Argentina, but getting to a semi-final, you can't look back and say, oh, that was a shit tournament. If you get to the last 4, it's you got to the end. It's like finishing the top 4 in the Premier League. You got to look at it as you can't say it was a terrible or it all went wrong, but obviously it'll be good if they lose. But yeah, it's been, I don't know if it's been lucky. I think they've fought well. They've just made it difficult for themselves, going behind against Congo, red card against Mexico, struggling against Norway. I don't know, not convincing, but kind of finding a way to win. Argentina haven't been kind of particularly convincing. I don't think so. Yeah, Cape Verde extra time, 10-man Switzerland extra time, barely beat Egypt
extra time yesterday
with the referee helping them out. So we shall see. I think it could be a relatively close game. Actually, it could be quite sort of cagey.
It'll be interesting because both of them are liable to concede goals. England and Argentina. So it'll be the movable object and the
movable object,
mountable force.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if they can defend. But I think they definitely can score goals against Argentina. They don't look tight. I think the wide players. I think Gordon. If Saka starts, I mean he's not been fit, but hopefully now he can start the last 2 games if they can get him through it. But yeah, the Norway game was horrible. Actually watched it in the most middle class way possible at the Picture House Cinema. We went to see it.
Nice.
I've never seen an event, like I've only ever seen movies at the cinema, and I've never thought, oh, why do you want to see an event? Like, they do live streams of like shows and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
But then I thought, well, you got a big screen, you get your own seat, no one's going to throw beer over you. You know what I mean? You can hear the commentary and the analysis and everything, which you can't normally do in the pub. Like, I hate watching football in the pub. Like, it always seems like a good idea, and you go, and it's like, can't see a fucking thing. Even though there's 50 screens, there's always going to be some cunt's head in front of one of them. Bar is always 5 deep. You're full of arseholes wanting to fight people and just being obnoxious. So I was like, yeah, let's go to the cinema. And it was actually pretty good. It was full. It was kind of a sellout. Probably about 100 people in the screening. And it was good atmosphere and good way to watch it. Relieved when they scored. Before that, I was doubting. Probably the first time this tournament, I was like, could actually go out here because this is not looking good. But they got the job done. It's still very kind of, maybe it was the heat, maybe it's just chopping and changing the team, but they look very kind of disjointed. But they got through it.
That's the thing. I mean, with England and Argentina not playing well and getting the wins. If that was in the league, you'd be saying mark of champions. And you look at a team like France, who've just been brushing people aside, but then have not come up against any adversity as of yet. So we haven't seen how they kind of deal with that. I watched obviously the England-Norway game. Haaland, for most of it, seemed to be doing a thing where he's like reserving his energy and only making runs when he thinks it's gonna lead to a chance. And then he come off like he was knackered, like he'd run less than I do at midnight. He'd done nothing basically the whole game apart from get a goal disallowed. Yeah. So that was when he came off and Strand Larson came on. I said, "This team, these lads aren't scoring. These aren't going to score."
No, I think Gahey actually did really well. Like whenever the ball was put forward to Haaland, Gahey was like really aggressive to close him down and try and win that ball. Yeah, it wasn't like giving him a little bit of space. It was like, right, you've got to be right on him. So I actually did pretty well dealing with him. And he didn't have much supply because I think a lot of Norway's players aren't very good, as you say. What was his strength? the guy on the right, Strand Larson. Yeah, I mean, fucking hell, you could have probably put me on there. I'd have found Haaland with that pass.
Yeah. When Nusa came on, and who's the other sub they brought on? Who looked good on the other wing?
Bobby.
Oscar Bob. Yes, when they brought those two on, they did look dangerous for a good 20-minute spell. Those two looked quick, and then they kind of faded out of the game as well. I thought towards the end, England were probably actually more likely to score than Norway in the last 10 minutes of the game, certainly. But it was tough. There was periods when Norway were well on top, and England really were struggling to contain them. But they made it through. And Argentina, I only watched the first half. I got too tired. I had to go to sleep, and I woke up and watched the highlights. And saw one of the most bonkers red cards of the tournament.
Yeah. Mistaken identity style.
Yeah. So so Barry, if you've not seen this, right? They have the video assistance referee, where they do the box with their fingers and everyone goes, "Oh my God, just doing the thing." So they can only intervene in certain use cases, let's say, and one of them is mistaken identity. So mistaken identity, my understanding of it, which I guess is wrong based on how they're using it, is let's say if I give Joe a yellow card, but actually it was you that did the foul. Okay. The man will talk in my ear, and I'll go look at the screen and say, "Oh, it was Barry, mistaken identity." I'll say, "No, Joe, no, yellow card for Barry." And what happened was, one of the Switzerland players who was already on a yellow card was fouled by one of the Argentina players. So the referee booked the Argentinian player. And then he went to look at the screen and it came up VAR checking mistaken identity. And what had happened was the Switzerland player had very obviously dived and initiated the contact. And the referee then gave him the yellow and said it sent them off. But it wasn't mistaken identity. It was the referee factually called it wrong.
Yeah.
And they went and used mistaken identity to say oh no, this guy should have got the yellow, not this guy. But not because the referee mixed him up with someone else, just because the referee saw the foul wrong. So I don't know how that's to me overstepping the VAR, because then where's the line? You know, what else can you use mistaken identity for? So that was crazy. And of course, it was the right call because it was a dive. The guy should have been sent off for sure. But that's not the way that's
supposed
to
be
be used, which is the problem. And then Argentina went to extra time. Of course, Argentina scored twice then in extra time. So that's the other thing as well is Argentina are playing a lot of extra times. So I wonder how tired their players are going to be come the England match. But we shall see. And then on the other side, France and Spain. Spain, of course, sent out Christy Ronnie home crying. Portugal, maybe the biggest underachievers themselves in Germany, just in terms of, although I think Portugal have a much better squad than Germany on paper. Just awful, just terrible.
Really disappointing.
Matinha, Neves, and Fernandes as a three in the midfield. It to me on paper is like one of the best midfields in this round. Yeah. And I don't know what it was, never worked. So Spain again kind of struggled to beat them. Only got the winner towards the very end with the Marino goal.
Mm-hmm.
And then Spain obviously beating Belgium in a very similar way. Last very, very another Marino goal towards the end after sadly our boy Senna come on and basically the one thing he was fluff a shot back to
that was unfortunate.
It was unfortunate, but look, that's the game. And then France, of course, pretty easily again eliminated. Was it Croatia they were playing? Who were France playing? No, France to Morocco, of course. Morocco, Croatia. Hey, what's the difference? Basically the same country. And yeah, they pretty handily beat Morocco. I think that's the thing that France have that I think the other four teams kind of don't, is maybe you would argue England to an extent with Bellingham, maybe more so than Kane, but a player who can just make a goal happen, even when they're struggling. You know,
yeah.
France just have players that'll just you pick the ball up and stick it into the far corner, bang, and then suddenly the game is won. You know, so we'll see. I mean, I predict, of course, France will go through. England, Argentina, I feel like it's more on a knife edge. The way that the referees have been refereeing this tournament, maybe give Argentina the slight edge.
Mm-hmm.
They'll come up with some other stupid fucking rule and make sure Messi makes it to the final. But I think France, for me, still favorite. I did put some money on France actually to win as well. So financially, I'm invested in them as well.
I don't know. Yeah, I would think France, but then Spain, they're sneaky. You know, those I could just suddenly sneaky Spaniards. You know what I mean? You think they won't win, and suddenly, bing, 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 the ball goes through and they score. And so, you're like, what the hell? The hell just happened there? They get a roll up. They roll you up when you least expect it. You get a win. So I don't know.
I think what Spain don't have that the other three teams have, though, is what I just said, is like that world class player who'll make a thing happen. And Yamal they do have, but I think Yamal's been quite poor.
Yeah,
so far, to be fair. Whereas France, Mbappe and Olise and Dembele and the like, England, Kane and Bellingham, and Argentina, Messi. Messi on his own, of course. So who knows? We've only 3 games left in this tournament, so we're almost there. Finals next Sunday, so we'll probably have to figure something out regarding the record
live stream
of this show.
Live stream watching.
Talk over it, yeah.
Anyway, that's the footy. What else have we been up to?
That's the footy. Kind of quiet on my end. I finished that Flatpak I started last week that I gave up on halfway through because I got something backwards. So I got that done. That was kind of it, though, to be perfectly honest. Do you want to jump into the wrestling news for the week, unless anyone has anything else?
Yeah, let's do it.
I suppose in a follow up to last week, they had Zayn lose the WWE title. You know,
yes, the return of CM Punk to Collision. I mean Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night Raw. Yeah.
Came back absolutely yoked to the gills. He looks like our RFK Jr. diet plan. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Interesting one.
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't anticipate he would hold it for very long. Anyway, you know, it felt like if I didn't really anticipate it would be Punk, but it felt like he would lose it to someone else. You know,
they didn't believe in him.
It felt like they were just getting it on him to then get it on to the next person who they didn't want to necessarily beat Cody. You know, So there you go. That's that.
And then the strange thing is, right, so the lead up to that match happening was, so Gunther took out Cody,
right,
with kicked his arm or his head into a car or something, right? And so there was a nebulous title match that was going to happen. And then CM Punk has taken advantage of the situation, beating an unprepared Sami Zayn for the title. So you'd imagine probably they'll do a rematch of Punk Sami, a fair rematch,
right?
And maybe Cody Gunther, since Gunther cost Cody his title shot here. No, CM Punk Cody Rhodes for some reason.
Well, yeah,
a boring promo.
Gotta get the Axel stars in there.
Gotta get the Axel stars in. Story be down.
Levesque motto: story be damned.
No, but AEW doesn't tell stories.
Yeah. That's the lesson we've learned.
That makes sense, at least.
So
yeah, it's funny. The magazine that I read every month, Inside the Ropes, did have as its cover story, Sami wins the big one.
Oh no!
He had to update it to
oh dear. Well, that's the trials and tribulations of being a magazine in the big 2-6. You know.
Yes.
It's a tough game. It's a tough game. Elsewhere in the wrestling world, we did have some continued moving and shaking on the MyAEW side of things. Maple Leaf Pro, the Scott D'Amore thing, is now on MyAEW. It'll be airing. I guess they have some kind of weekly show. After those first couple of shows, I haven't heard a peep about this thing, so I have no idea.
It was they announced last month like a 1-hour weekly show on Canadian TV. I forget the network.
Yeah, right.
But it seemed like I don't know how big a deal that is, but I think it was TSN. I'm not 100% sure. TSN 12 1-hour episodes from July for a few months. I guess it's kind of a pilot run to see how that does. I thought it was interesting though, because partly because it's going to be original sort of TV content. This isn't like those other indies where it's like they film, some random show. They're actually producing TV content. It was like interesting that, I mean, obviously still a lot of the talent they use is just AEW talent. They're not, there's not really enough people out there to run a promotion without, using AEW talent. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. They're going to be on MyAEW, and now that's kind of taking over from what we, the Trillos, the Fight TVs. MyAEW is kind of eating that up. It's now going to be the home for independent wrestling. Kind of smarter than what WWE did with the whole ID thing, and their efforts to sort of capture the indies and put their mark on it, because this is actual distribution and actually like helping these companies get out there in front of AEW fans. So it'll be interesting to see. And will WWE allow their talent? So they're not going to allow their talent to appear on any show that's going to be on MyAEW. So it kind of also draws a bit of a line in the sand between independents that are going to be on MyAEW and those that aren't. So interesting one to keep an eye on.
Are they doing any live stream these indie shows?
I don't think so.
No,
that'd be interesting if they started to include.
The only live one has been to CMLL. Had a pay-per-view on MyAEW.
Well, that's
Fantastica Mania, I think it was. But so obviously they have the capability to offer that.
Okay, so they can.
So I guess that could be something.
So I'm thinking, what's AEW's benefit to doing this aside from obviously subscribers? That's what they're going for. But I would imagine these companies aren't paying AEW to have the shows on their service, maybe the other way around. But then if there was like a pay-per-view option, then presumably AEW would take a cut of that.
Yeah, so I wonder how much they would have been getting from like Triller anyway. I mean, with Triller's accounting, probably zero.
Allegedly not.
Allegedly zero. But even if they were getting paid, like how much do they realistically make from those kind of pay-per-view events or subscriptions to shows and things? Probably, I mean, I can imagine some minimal amount. So maybe even if AEW offers a little bit of like revenue sharing, like, oh, if you get, certain number of views, we might share some revenue, and then offers pay-per-view. Yeah, it could be interesting. It's kind of good because there's always like AEW are going to set this up anyway for their international fans. So now, why not add all this into it? Maybe get more money out of it. Interesting.
So yeah, we'll see if they continue to add things. Obviously, they have that produce company as well, so they are in the mix. Yeah, we'll see if more deals get made. It'll be interesting to watch. I kind of thought they said ages ago they were going to start doing this, and I kind of just went, oh, whatever. I'm sure that was maybe just a stock answer from Tony, but they are working overtime on it, which is good. So yeah, I haven't watched any of that stuff, but it's nice to know it's there. If you get a hankering. I think it's going to do it for the news for the week. Do we want to jump into our fantasy update, Paul?
Yes, sir. Pull it up here. Yeah. So Joe not only had the world title win in the week, but also the 5.5-star bonus in the week for two of his wrestlers. And Joe also had the MMA rapist injures his knee 1 second into the fight bonus. So good pick on that one. Good draft. No, but Joe, like Kenny Omega, 30 points. So Joe was obviously very honed in on that happening as part of his drafting in of Kenny Omega. You can now draft him back out.
And I'm done with you. Well, we'll see what happens at Redemption. We'll see if he has a little, maybe a title defense, or even if it's like a tag match or something. That's, a few more points.
Yeah, so 30 points for Omega, 2 for MJF, 1 for losing the match, -5 for losing the title, but then plus 6 for the star rating, so evens out. I do have 1 point to make on this topic, which is Moxley wrestling every single show. While Joe loves it, I'm outside of fantasy. I'm actually getting a little bit tired of Moxley literally wrestling every show. I feel like it's taking up a spot from someone else. Now, and again, from fantasy point of view, Joe, if he was in my team, I'd be absolutely loving it. But I'm just talking about TV. When I was watching Collision the first hour, and fucking Moxley in another match, I'm like, do we not have any other wrestlers? Moxley every show.
Steak too juicy, lobster too buttery, etc., etc. Oh, this is fucking great wrestler. God, he won't ever go home, will he? My God.
He won't. In 34 matches in 28 weeks. Come on now. Take a little break. Take a little break, brother. Drop that belt and do another one of those sabbaticals. Give us a chance to watch someone else wrestle for us. But yeah, Joe, very good week. 42 points. 22 for me. I had the Kyle Fletcher win as well. No star bonuses for him though. He was not Kenny Omega. And then Barry with a 13. So Barry also had the minus points for Takeshita.
Yeah.
Who's now also gone to do the G1. So probably Takeshita won't be around for a little while.
Won't be around. I also did not see that title change coming either.
I figured since he was going to be going away, there was a chance. But you do have Hangman Page showing up again, so swings and roundabouts. So we are in the midst of the transfer window. I'll remind people again. I've used one of my transfer window transfers on Willow, who's now returned and won the gauntlet and now is going for the title at the Pape, which I'm very happy about, of course. But Barry and Joe still have 2 transfer window transfers if they wish to use them. I will not be making one this week. I not to say I don't have my eye on 1 or 2, but we'll see how the lay of the land goes. I'm still not the happiest with Bandito because I feel like Bandito holding that Ring of Honor titles. Some weeks he's just on Ring of Honor. He's not doesn't actually wrestle on TV. It's very annoying. Like he's only wrestled one fewer match than Kyle O'Reilly, and he's got less than half the points of Kyle O'Reilly, which is crazy. Point totals: 955 for Joe, 715 for Barry, and 614 for me. I'm only 1-0.
Yeah, so you continue to close in on me, and Joe continues to run away with this.
Yeah.
How far's the old post office from your house, Barry? Is it a long trek? You got plenty of bubble wrap. Got plenty of bubble
close
wrap.
Enough.
Yeah,
it's close enough. I'll do a little bit of scouting in the next couple of days to see if I can get that time down.
Yeah, because I mean, Barry, in terms of your form, so you're over the last 10 shows, you're third in the form table. Joe 162 points, I'm 142 points, and you're 97. But you do have currently, you had a Hangman Page. I mean, he still hasn't wrestled, right? So you have Hangman Page who hasn't wrestled since Revolution or whatever that was. Takeshita now gone for the next month at least. Copeland doesn't wrestle very often. Harwood gone for the time being. And then Claudio, okay, but not a huge point getter.
Yeah, he's gone quiet. He has gone quiet. He has.
Ciampa, decent earner.
All right.
Tekla, big earner, but potentially going to lose the world title sooner than later. Speedball Bailey, good earner, and Mark Davis, good earner, but no. And then Ospreay as your number one, of course, is really your only power hitter at the moment, I would say.
Yeah, I might. Takeshita might be going soon, I think. But even after the G1, I just don't feel a whole lot.
Number 10 in the overall scoring table as man.
Yeah, but the rest of the year, I don't know what's like realistically. What maybe he'll win the title back from Fletcher, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to get rid of Cope. I want to hold on to Cope through Wembley because I feel like that match they'll almost certainly do a ladder match. I think that could potentially be a 5-star bonus from Dave, just because of how he's wired. But after that, I think I might be saying goodbye to him. But I don't know, kind of a weird spot with this team right now. You're muted, Paul.
Oh,
you're muted. You're muted.
I'm muted. I'm back. I think your team and my team have flipped somewhat the last couple of months.
Yeah,
because we all started quite well. Then obviously you and Joe actually pulled away, and then you kind of regressed, and I've caught up a little bit. So, weird how it's been working. Yeah, but I mean, if you look at the table, top 4 are still Moxley, my enemy. Kevin Knight, who has obviously had a really good year. I don't know about the second half of the year for him though. I wouldn't trade him out based on how he's been doing. I don't know. I just feel like him joining the Don Callis family is not going to be good for him from a fancy point of view.
No, I get you.
Darby, and I don't understand how Orange Cassidy is doing so well. Like he's been, I think, the sneakiest points getter of the year. How does he have 120 points?
Yeah.
What does he do? Just like tile defenses here and there. Like he's got 30 more points than Tekla almost. How is that possible? I don't understand. How is Lena Cross still number 7? They don't fucking wrestle half.
No, well, they
once every 3 weeks.
They do a squash match almost every week. They do it sometimes it's on Khalid.
Last 2 weeks,
but they rack them up. They rack them up.
That's your fancy update. Anyway, we don't have any no trades or no transfers this week.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Okay. We do have a little quizzy poo for the boys. So
okay.
Play along at home. It's Oney Lorcannect. It's back. I'm still trying to be on my best behavior insofar as these clues make sense and aren't silly. So we've got 6 categories. They are all wrestling related. I forgot to do a non-wrestling one.
That's fine.
Week, so
nice.
You'll have to make do. Joe, as the birthday boy, I'll let you pick if you want to go first.
Ooh, I'll go first.
Joe wants to go first, and do you want number 1 through 6? Which one would you like?
4.
4. Okay, so Joe's up first. First one is Sorcerer.
Sorcerer. Sorcerer. Are these sorcerer? English translations of AEW luchador names?
It's not. It's not.
Okay.
But you're not many miles away.
Okay.
Number 2, the Grim Reaper.
Grim Reaper. The Sorcerer. The Grim Reaper.
Sorcerer and the Grim Reaper.
And Mortals. No, go on, guess the third one.
Okay. Golden Mask.
Golden Mask. Well, okay, so it's first one I'm thinking is Hechicero. Second one is Beast Mortos, maybe Mortos Death. I don't know. That's Mascara Dorada. What? They're all. What's the actual connection then? They're all.
This might have to go to the judges panel in terms of how close Joe was on his first guess, whether we give it to him or not.
Have you instantly on the first one fucking not given him credit for getting one on his birthday as well, by the way, listeners?
Well, no, because he okay, we'll go through it and then I'll point out what the clarification was that what he said was not correct.
So what did I say? I said they're all English.
The English translation of luchador names.
Of
AEW luchadors is what he said.
Okay, of CMLL luchadors.
No.
Just luchadors.
Just luchadors.
Oh,
obviously you should have gotten that. Obviously. What is wrong with your brain? Like I understand that it's not literally correct, but how can you not go, yeah, I'll just give it to you? Of course.
Well, who's the fourth one then? Is that not AEW?
The Son of the Viking is the fourth one.
Okay.
Triple A guy, yeah.
Okay,
so
all right.
We'll give you the point. You got what it is, but I mean, going forward, let's not try to be overly specific, guys.
No, God forbid. God forbid.
Things I'm fucking on already. I've been on my good behavior. That was a good one. The Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper is...
No, listeners, don't be too accurate. Don't be too accurate.
The Grim Reaper... Well, no, I'm never going to need to be 5 layers of accuracy. The Grim Reaper is La Parca.
Oh,
in
is that
Mexican culture, it's called literally the Grim Reaper translates as La Parca.
So like the park.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Okay,
Barry, you're up. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6.
6.
6. Eddie Kingston.
Continental Classic winners.
I'm afraid it's not. Mark Briscoe.
No idea.
Chris Jericho.
Tony Khan era Ring of Honor champions.
I will give it to you. They're the last 4 Ring of Honor champions.
Last
Bandito, obviously.
Bandito.
Okay.
Yeah. So no ambiguity there. That is
no. Well, is the Tony Khan era the most recent? I think it is.
No, you're good. Okay, Joe. 1, 2, 3, 5.
Let's go 5.
Joe wants number 5. John Moxley.
Johnny Moxo.
Johnny Moxo.
John Moxley. Wrestlers from Ohio.
Not what I'm looking for.
Okay.
Jack Perry.
John Moxley, Jack Perry. It's a tricky one. John Moxley, Jack Perry.
What do they have in common? Those very different wrestlers.
I don't know. So we all use like a variation on the same submission finisher? No,
it's not. No.
It's
Kyle Fletcher.
John Jack Kyle.
Ilheimer Schmidt.
Moxley Perry Fletcher. They all. What have they all done? They've all done something. I don't know. This is a very broad. This could be. I don't know. They're all AEW wrestlers.
They are. That's not.
That's a
not
point.
what I'm looking for. That is one you need to be more specific. And last one is Kenny Omega.
Well, 3 of them are champions, but no, Perry's not a champion, is he? I don't know. Is it all? They've all won AEW championships on TV.
No, it's not what I'm looking for. Barry, do you know?
No idea. I really don't know this one.
Okay, I will give you a clue, and then whoever shouts it out can get it. It is to do with championships in AEW.
Were they all the first champion of something?
No, they were not.
Um,
But what have they been champions of? They're all members of quite a short list. John Moxley has been what?
World champion, continental champion, international champion.
Okay.
They've all held multiple singles titles in AEW.
They've all held at least 3 different championships in AEW.
Okay.
There's only about 5 or 6 people that have done that.
So
Kenny Omega's the only person who's held 4 different championships in AEW.
Okay.
World Tag, Trios, and International.
Just like Triple Crown, Grand Slam kind of people. Okay.
Moxley, World, Continental, and International. Jack Perry, TNT, Tag, and National.
National.
Kyle Fletcher, TNT, International, and Trios. And Kenny Omega, World, Tag, Trios, and International.
Interesting.
So 1 point for Joe there. Barry, 1, 2, or 3?
3.
Callum Newman.
It'd never be this simple, but United Empire members?
No, it's not what I'm looking for. Number 2, Gabe Kidd.
New Japan roster members who've appeared in AEW? Obviously not. Too vague.
No, Zack Sabre Jr.
Nope, no idea.
And lastly is Oscar. Oskar.
Oscar, yeah. No idea. No idea.
Joe, any idea?
I was thinking like English champions, but Oscar's obviously German. So is it like European championship holders in New Japan?
No, they're not. They're not all championship holders even. It's to do with something ongoing.
G1 participants, European G1 participants.
Yeah, non-Japanese entrants in G1. I think the other one is G1 G1 started last night, and they're all in it. Okay, so Joe is now 6-2 up. Barry, we need a 4 here, but this is Joe's turn, so Joe goes first. So Joe for the win here, basically. 1 or 2?
Let's go for number 1.
Number 1, Detective Christopher Danson.
Detective Christopher Danson. Are these all John Cena roles?
They're not, I'm afraid. Crypto.
Adam Copeland acting roles?
I'm afraid not.
Who else has been in a lot of shit?
Smolder. Dr. Smolder Bravestone.
Can't be The Rock, surely. Wait, Rock Crypto? No. Who else? It's got to be acting roles. Dr. Smolder Bruce. What's the first one? Detective.
Detective Christopher Danson.
Christopher Danson. Crypto. Who's Crypto? Is that Superman's dog? Superman's dog, was that played by Roman Reigns? Not sure. Possibly.
Type of currency.
The type of dancing. Let's have the fourth one. Might get it from that.
Black Adam.
These are all played by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
That's correct. The Dwayne Johnson roles. Detective Christopher Danson is from The Other Guys. Crypto is Superman's dog. That's from
animated
DC League of Super Pets.
Oh, shit, yes.
And Dr. Smolder Bravestone is his character in Jumanji.
Right, I knew that's
Black Adam is in Black Adam.
Got him.
Yeah. Okay, Barry. Last one for you.
Okay.
Daniel Bryan versus Kane, 2015.
Observer Worst Feud of the Year winners?
Maybe it was, but no. Apollo Crews versus Grayson Waller, 2022.
Apollo Crews versus Grayson Waller. Oh, did that have that? Was that match that had that gimmick? Is it? Are these matches that had like a one-time gimmick, like a uniquely created gimmick just for the match?
No. Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker, 1998.
1998. Casket matches?
It's casket matches. You got it. Any idea what the last one would have been?
Vince versus Undertaker. Oh no, that was Buried Alive.
No.
Yokozuna versus Undertaker.
Yokozuna Undertaker, 1994. The big old casket. He went up to heaven. So that's it. So Barry with 6 points. Joe with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points. Is the winner.
Well done, Joe.
Oh, sorry, Barry only got 4. Sorry, not 6. I don't know why I came.
Yeah,
7-4. 7-4. Well done.
I was stomped there. Well done, Joe.
We've got a good game.
That referee's decision on that first one, I think, really clinched it for you.
I went to VAR, with mistaken identity, but I thought it was,
mistaken answer.
I will say as well, I'm really struggling to come up with them now. I think we Oney Lorcannect's got to go.
Yeah, we'll rest it. We'll rest it for a while.
Yeah.
I was mortified for a moment there when I opened the Excel file and that New Japan G1 entrance was still there, because while making, I said that's shit. And I need to that one, and then I never did.
Leave it.
Oh well.
Alrighty. Well, from that to this, we will take a look now at AEW Dynamite. Beach Parade. Finally, a beach-themed show. Actually, from a beach. A very cool venue, wasn't it? Where were we? St. Peter's, Clearwater, Florida. Was it St. Peter's something or other? Is that what it was called? I can't remember. But yeah, very unique venue. great atmosphere. Felt unique. Felt a little bit different. A lot of the lads were struggling with the heat. I think a number of matches involved spots where they would brawl over the ringside area and throw water on each other or themselves. Coincidentally enough, that was funny. But yeah, really cool venue, and a very strong show that we will run through now. Opened with a Kenny promo. One of his better ones in a while. It was pretty straightforward. Talking about how he's just going to be the champion and all that stuff. The Oprah Properner, I said. The Oprah Properner. I nearly said it there again. The Oprah.
That's where they do those WXW shows in Germany, isn't it?
That's right. That's correct. Yeah, that's right. That's I love. Oh, it takes me back. The opener proper turned out to be Tommaso Ciampa versus Jericho. Just Jericho. Ciampa did his entrance and they basically hid among the surfboards at the little entrance area there. Tried to jump Jericho. Jericho got the drop on him, came through the crowd and fought him behind. Then Jericho, the master of just like all these little tricks to try and like retain some semblance of overness, just like sort of like pinched the Anarchy in the Arena thing there a little bit. Just had Judas playing for like the first 30 seconds of the match as they were brawling all over the ringside area. Ciampa got a mark on his arse from taking a bump on
that was nasty.
Yeah, a beach lounger. It was not nice at all. Yeah, that was pretty. He had a fairly sizable scrape down his thigh.
Really? Was it from the deck chair?
It was that deck chair thing right at the beginning of the match.
It wasn't it was like just a shitty deck chair from Argos or something. And so it's exploded and a big splinter of the wood nearly went right up his cock. Almost. I mean, lucky that it went up, sliced the edge of his bum, not anywhere else. It was pretty nasty.
The old ski on the bum. Match was all right. It was all right. It wasn't. It wasn't a disaster. It's Jericho, you're rolling the dice these days.
I thought it was solid, but yeah, as you say, for a Jericho match, it was pretty good. But Ciampa with anyone else probably would have been a really good match.
They teased the drill again.
Yeah.
Ciampa won after getting sand in Jericho's eyes and nailing him with a bicycle kick. Right in the noggin with a chair after the match as well, which was pretty funny. I mean, you have to imagine this is leading to another match. Presumably this is a redemption match.
Drill on a pole.
A drill on a pole, or a buried alive match, or some other tomfoolery of that ilk.
I thought this was solid. This was much better than I was expecting going in. I kind of categorized this as like the piss break match, but then it opened and I was like, oh, well, I don't need to go, so I have to stay here and watch. And it was pretty.
Just down him, fucking Pepsi Max. Come on, need a piss.
Come on, quick.
Hurry up.
But it artificially cause it. And yeah, when he gave him that kind of, I don't know what you'd call it, onto the steps. I did wince. Oh my God, that was bad. Good blade job from Jericho as well. And I liked the sand in the eyes, and also in the main event. There was a bit where Omega, I've got sand in the eye, ref. I like that they used kind of the beach environment to their benefit. The only thing the show was missing was like a run in, someone coming in on a speedboat. Like, I don't know how far from the actual beat.
It looks like they were pretty close. It looks like they were pretty close. Like FTR that one time they come in on a classic speedboat, but it also stops working. So they have to swim the rest of the way.
And doggy paddling to the venue.
Oh, Bold actually can't swim, so Hare has to like go back and get him and like pull him along. Dearie me.
Something like that would have been fun on it.
Yeah, well, I still give them lots of credit for actually doing the beach show, because they've had in their 6 years, or I don't know, about 7 years this year. They've had a number of beachy shows, and they've rolled. Some of them have had, surfboards on the entrance like this one had, but this was the first one that was actually,
they've done them in like
outdoor.
Chicago.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're doing completely random places, like just wherever they are when they feel wherever they feel like doing their summer themed show is just like whatever.
They should do this venue once a year.
I think that's a good idea. I think that's a good idea. We had some more brawling birds tomfoolery.
Fucking terrible.
It's terrible. So bad. Beating up. The funny thing is as well about these vignettes is it's so 90s WWF, first of all. And it's like, oh, they're beating up lads because they're such odd birds. I said, it's crap. All the fighting looks like fake Batman 60s show choreography where they're just flinging lads. It looks dreadful. It's just, we complain a lot about Jamie Hayter, but even Alex Windsor as well. I think they're both just like way above this. I just think it's crap. I just think it's complete crap.
I feel like you want to do something like this. Have a little story to the vignette, not just they're fighting people. Have them come in and some woman's there and she's drunk and causing a scene and she says something, oh, get the fuck out of here, you English bitches. What are you fucking saying to me? Glass over the head. Clothesline over the counter.
Yeah, do a little mockumentary thing where like an AEW crew is following them and they go to some hideous Florida dive bar where some like insanely annoying woman is mouthing off at them and they beat her up and they throw her over the pool table or something.
And then the boyfriend comes over and then they beat him up as well.
So anything
as opposed to they're just fighting the same guys you see later on the show with security.
It's security, exactly, yeah. I suppose this stupid shit where they're in the APA's office, the least believable pub ever, beating up randos. Renee was backstage with Ospreay. MJF came up, got in his face. They had a little back and forth. MJF spat in Ospreay's face, so they had a pull apart. So I think they were trying to keep up this. They did a little bit of this last week as well. They kind of keep up this idea that MJF was like looking past Kenny and was basically assuming he'd be facing Ospreay. So that was an
MJF Ospreay at Redemption, maybe.
You could, yeah. I mean, Redemption's kind of in a weird place now because you've locked in your Wembley match. So do an Ospreay MJF match. That's a big match. Do that there. Maybe I don't think it wouldn't feel very believable, but you could do a thing where like Ospreay's putting up his title match. Do you know what I mean? Something like that.
Yeah, same as they do in New Japan.
So long as they don't even humor the idea of a 3-way, that's the only thing I would hope.
No, Ospreay just beat them.
Yeah, absolutely. Carl Fletcher defeated Takeshita. Surprising results. When they announced this, I thought it was just going to be a handy defense for Takeshita, but evidently not. Really good match. Pay-per-view quality match, as you'd expect from these two.
Totally overshadowed by the main event.
Yes, yeah. This could have main evented a less stacked Dynamite, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
This would have been the best match on most Dynamites, just not this one. And it's funny thinking back. I remember so much of the main event, and honestly, of this, I remember very little. But I remember while I was watching, I was like, "Oh my god, this is brilliant!" So, again, I mean, what was it you said earlier about me complaining about Moxley wrestling too much? The steak is too juicy.
Yeah,
too many good matches on my Dynamite. These guys are both great, both class.
And honestly, to be fair, the match itself was also then kind of like backseated to the post-match thing they did anyway. So, Don Callis family came out. They were all celebrating. Callis segued to bring out Kevin Knight. Kevin Knight came out, cutting a promo, and it was the usual kind of Kevin Knight. You kind of wish it was better promo, being honest. I got the order out of order here. Foley came out first to interrupt the Don Callis celebration. Pointed out his shoes, which had his doggies on them, a recently passed dog and a currently still alive dog, and said that the next time Callis disrespects him, they're going to get really acquainted with the confines of your ass. This is his exact verbiage, which was a funny way of putting it. So that was funny. It continues. I enjoyed this. I've enjoyed all of Foley's things he's done thus far. Continue to wonder if they're perhaps going to have him be physical. I mean, it seems like so completely out of the question, but I don't know.
The Fletcher play was good here, but I mean there was nothing to Foley's appearance here. I wonder if this was plans changed or what. But this wasn't like the one on the pay-per-view pre-show where like Foley came out and talked to Fletcher, and then Foley just stood off to the side as the segment went on for another 10 minutes.
Yeah. And also, they didn't really advertise he was going to be there unless I missed it. You'd kind of think, maybe you would.
I think it was a last minute mention. There wasn't a big part of the promotion.
I mean, look, this is also the week where they just said on Twitter like an hour before the show that Hangman would be on Collision. So,
we'll talk about it.
What do we know about promoting these things? So then Kevin Knight came out, and so he's still doing the thing where he's prodding MJF, who at this time was still the world champion. Andrade come out, and he stood on the stage, and he said, "Oh, tranquilo, you want to attack me, but I just have one question. How you know?" I tell you what, Mike, it's not just us being grumpy, because people do sing along with this, right? So it's not that but it's not like the most over catchphrase in the world either. I feel like most people probably agree it's kind of just a stupid thing that it feels very forced that they're trying to make it a catchphrase because it was a funny thing he said once like 2 years ago at this stage.
You need the setup for it. It's like when The Rock would be like, "It doesn't matter." Like he didn't just say it. Like there was a set.
Yeah, he set it up
saying something, and then he'd cut them off and go, "It doesn't matter what you think." Andrade needs to be, "Why do you think you're going to beat me?" How you know? And all that, it needs to be some kind of setup to be like, "Okay, how you know?"
You think the Don Callis family will be fine without me? How you know?
How you know? There's no. It's just random. So you gotta.
Although I will say my moment of the week was Andrade saying, "I have one question for you," and Kyle Fletcher going, "What is it? What's your question?"
They did at least then do an intentional setup and punchline with this. Darby came back, big brawl with the baby faces and the Don Callis family. They brawl to the back. Again, another thing that like they do a cool thing and then it becomes a character's bit. They had another explosive gizmo because that's Darby's thing now. It's not enough that he was like the crazy guy that does all these genuinely mental things. Now he has to have like a contraption. He has to have IEDs. So they were brought him backstage. He had his skateboard. Brian Cage grabbed it, and he was getting ready. And he was doing a very funny comical. I'm gonna hit him with this weapon. Oh, you better believe it. I'm holding it really close to my face. I'm gonna hit him. And he's like, and then it blew up in his face. And then Doyle pointed and said it was you, and the camera pans and there's Andrade with this big Wile E. Coyote Acme switch with explosion written on it, and he goes, "Oh, how you know?" That was at least silly.
It was.
There you go. That was that. We had another kind of like sort of pointless squash just to illustrate that the Death Riders are a team now. Ospreay and Moxley versus the Workhorsemen. Kind of surprised they bothered with that on such a loaded show.
Gotta get your Moxley match in.
Oh, rolling my eyes at it. Can you believe it?
I kind of wonder if these tag matches are building to something. I was half thinking, is there going to be a Ospreay Moxley tag match at the pay-per-view? Is that why they're having these kind? Because as much as like, yes, they just want to have Mox and Ospreay wrestle. I feel like Tony Khan, he books matches for a reason. We see people they'll win, like Brian Cage won a match to get heated up. Darby's just won on Collision to get heated up. I feel like there must be something in there. Like we're going to see a bit of a tag match at Redemption after that. Yeah, maybe. If they don't do a tight match.
Because I will say I was complaining in the week, and I don't think this is a nitpick. I think this is a very valid complaint. They announced 2 matches for Collision, 2 title matches. There was Harley challenging for TBS. The first person eliminated in that match last week.
Yeah.
And then they had Speedball challenging Davis Speedball's last single match was losing to Doyle. Losing to the, yeah, boss, we'll get him. It's the freaking bat guy in the group. That's what Jake Doyle's role is. He's a very good henchman, but that's what he is. Speedball last single match was losing to him, and he got a title shot. So if they're going to do something with Mox and Ospreay, I'm glad they are getting even. And I'm even with these, I'm happy with even just these very simple, like you don't really think, there's no real drama to it. You know that the jabronis aren't going to win, but I like a little bit of effort being put into this kind of thing, because it does really irritate me that title matches seem just pretty much handed out based on vibes right now, with the exception of the world title, right? With the exception of the world title. But anyway.
Well, also Shibata got a shot at the Ring of Honor world title. I'm trying to see when Shibata's last AEW win was.
Oh, we'll check his Ring of Honor records, sir.
No, it does not count.
That's the title. Excuse me. I think you'll find that is the championship, and thus that prestigious show's lineage must also be respected.
Okay, well, in Ring of Honor, he's beaten Aaron Solo and JD Drake.
Huge names. Huge.
His last
win. World champions both, I'm fairly sure.
When was his last win in AEW? December.
Jesus Christ.
The Ops defeated... Oh, no, it was a fucking dark match. The Ops defeated the Dark Order. I don't remember seeing that one on Dynamite. Before that... November, when Shibata, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Samoa Joe won the Trios title.
Jesus.
Or at least defended them. Yeah, so your point is valid.
After the what was it? Survival of the Fittest didn't really deliver last week. It was not another. It was another not great week for the women's division, unfortunately. Yeah. This division, which we have praised to the hilt. We had a casino gauntlet, a match where I think the bloom is kind of off the rose on this. I think more of these have either been bad or at the very least very middling. That I think the memory of the good ones is kind of fading more and more with the more of these they do on a little bit. Thank God our savior and queen Willow came back, because she was very entertaining, very energetic, and she won, and that was exciting, and you know something good to look at, because this was, I was about to say, this was, well, the two people saved this match. It was Willow, and of course it was Big Tech, fulfilling the role of Kevin Nash at Spring Break, in the 90s. Came out absolutely sauced. Either sauce or just doing a good impression of it, or that's just how she is. Maybe that's just how she is. Not really arsed about anything that has happened in the match. How could you be?
Talking over the ring announcers,
talking over
other commentators. Excalibur's trying to throw it to break. Techno's just talking about whatever.
Talks about, I kind of wish I was friends with Mina Shirakawa so I could literally just made the noise.
She's great.
She was great. She was fantastic. The running order here for this was Athena and the currently still unrated Maya Worlds versus it was Sky Blue, Mina, then Rina, also from Stardom, Julia Hart. They did a thing where Julia and Sky then started like beating up ring announcers and stuff like that during all this chaos. They were pulling out weapons, because I guess technically it's no DQ. So they were on the, again, it kind of felt a little bit derivative when you just had a video. Yeah, they just had a segment a couple of segments ago where someone was doing that, but whatever. Thunder Rosa was 7. The surprise of Willow was 8. And Willow was the last entrant. She came in, did a big babyface comeback, was throwing people around, and she hit the Babe with the power bomb on Julia Hart for the 1, 2, 3. So we talked about it last week. It's kind of funny. They were running vignettes for her return before they even crowned her replacement champion, and here she is a week later back. Well, I guess you don't quite know when someone gets injured. You don't know, I suppose, in real time how long it's going to be. So, yeah. So it's weird. I assume she's winning that at Redemption.
Yeah,
I think so. With the Owen kind of falling apart, and who knows if money was the original plan for the Owen. I don't know if we'll ever get an answer on that. But with everything falling apart and champions getting injured and people leaving and all this other stuff, we've sort of somehow ended up with like Monet as the first 2-time Owen winner challenging the champion. Her and Tekla would have been. I think her and Tekla would have been interesting, but it is 2 heels. You could maybe do Tekla as like the cool heel babyface, kind of, but not really. I don't think. I think it's too early in her run for that. So you assume Willow wins, right? A redemption. But then I think that dynamic's also weird as well, because you've Willow going into the match defending, and the Mercedes is kind of the under. So basically, the Mercedes story, obviously, she's all these belts, but she's never won the main women's. So she's going in the massive underdog at Wembley against Willow, which is odd. And I think it'd be weird to put it on Willow and then beat Willow straight away. I don't know. It's odd. It feels like they had fucking 10 million people get injured over the course of the last 2 months. But yeah, I don't quite know what to make of that dynamic for the women's title at Wembley.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the most likely is probably Willow beats Tekla and then Willow beats Mercedes. But then it's kind of the same story as Mercedes Tony from last year, where Tony beat her ultimately. Yeah, I mean, I think Mercedes would probably be fine. I don't think Mercedes is lessened by losing again, but she's going to need to win the big one at some point. It's like when they bring in all these guys like Okada and Jay White and Mercedes on the women's side, and it's like when you got these big stars, sometimes they got to just like win the big one, you know, because then eventually the bloom does start to come off, you know.
Although I do like this story. I do like the characters who never get that big one. But the thing about Tony is I feel like I think pretty much all of those characters he's had them win eventually. Eddie, Darby, Hangman, like all these characters that have these like, oh God, it's consuming me that I can't. He gives it to them eventually. Mm-hmm. I always think it's kind of interesting if you have like one of those characters that never gets it, but doesn't seem to be his style. So we'll see. But yeah, it's interesting. Speaking of Tony, the one man on earth who cares commissioned a vignette for Jack Perry's re-signing. I mean, this is, you want to talk about like a nothing payoff to a complete failure of like a PR, run.
Yeah.
Every big wrestler does it these days. The old, I'm texting Wade Keller. I'm texting Sean Ross Sapp. My contract. I haven't signed yet. I mean, nobody gave a fuck that Jack Perry's contract was coming due. I think most people were holding the door open for him. But as Meltzer, I think, reported at the end of the week, it didn't seem like there was a whole lot of interest on the other side, which, I mean, I don't think he'd fit in WWE at all. I think the size goes against him. I think he doesn't really have the charisma, to go over there and do a meme catchphrase and silly entrance, that they love. So they ran a vignette here with his career highlights and just announced that he re-signed. I'm like, all right. Fair enough.
He wants to be the world champion, by the way. Good luck with that.
Yeah. They said on commentary a few weeks ago, it might have actually just been last week, didn't they say something about Tony Khan had christened the new 4 pillars?
Yeah, someone asked him on a radio show, like, who are the new 4 pillars? And he
was like,
said,
Tekla.
I gave some answer that was like, yeah.
Hang on.
Didn't really make sense in terms of what the term 4 pillars has ever meant in any context. Because I don't even think you really, like, Guevara and Jack Perry were not 2 of the 4 pillars in reality. If you had to pick the 4 pillars and defining that term as who were the 4 kind of new faces that were going to be AEW could be built around in the future, MJF, Darby, absolutely. Orange Cassidy, and I'd say Hangman, even though he was a bit more established. He wasn't like a world champion or a big
You'd even maybe say in those early days, Britain.
Well,
she was one, wasn't she? In the original.
No, the original was MJF, Perry, Sami.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, but you know what? He when asked, he would say she was the unofficial 5th. I think. Yeah. He used to love Britain.
Yeah, Hangman to an extent, but he wasn't kind of fresh as the other 3, I guess. He'd been a Ring of Honor at least.
But
yeah, Jack Perry signed.
We'll get in.
Great stuff. Yeah, well, hey.
Oh, sorry. Resigns, not resigns.
trying to figure out what I was less excited by, that or Manchester United signing Andres Santos from Chelsea, a player whose existence I only found out about from the fact that we signed him. I'd never heard this child before. Suddenly he's 80 million, 50 million, whatever. Yeah, well done, Jack.
Well, Jack Perry is here to stay.
Pre Perry vignette, I forgot to mention there. They did have the Amazonians come out and beat up the baby faces after the Casino Battle Royal, and basically made an allusion to the idea that they might be Mercedes aligned now, which I like that. I like what they're doing. I like the simplicity of the beating up jabrones, the 5-minute challenge, but it's also probably fair to say that they don't feel especially featured as like a central part of the show right now. When the giant women are not around, all the other characters should be asking, where are the giant women? And so I feel like
asking that.
And so making them Mercedes heavies is I'd say that's an interesting development. So long, actually, well, I shouldn't say I would like it to not be. I don't want them to be two Camille's, right? I want them to still be like the world tag team champions, but having them be a unit, I suppose, is what I would like it to be. Right. But yeah, interesting. And that brought us to the world title match, which stop me if you've heard this one before, folks. It was a very good pay-per-view level match. One of MJF's better. I haven't loved MJF on pay-per-view this year, but this was really good. He took the homage to Mick Foley. I think he did the head first bump through the table, which was mental. They worked super hard. It was a long one. Went through a couple of breaks, obviously, kicked out of a million different things. And I'm trying to think here. What was the one thing I didn't like was, of course, the finish, where MJF brings the title in the ring, which distracts the referee. He puts the Dynamite diamond ring on his finger. Ospreay comes out and yanks it off his finger. MJF's like, why I oughta, you do, and the referee's like, hey, what's going on here? Kenny picks up the title, and I would like, if you want the guy to not cheat, right, because he's Kenny Omega, if you want to make a big deal of him throwing the title away because he's not going to cheat, that's fine. But instead, he goes to swing it, and MJF cowers, and Kenny goes, can I? I was like, oh my, you are just having a great match. Please either hit him or don't hit him. Why do we have to do this every fucking week? Why must there be one spot like this on every show for the rest of time in wrestling? Why? Why can't we just do things instead of going, oh, there's an angel on one shoulder and a demon on another. Which one do I listen to? Fucking God, just hit him or don't hit him. I don't care. Just fucking pick one. God, it's just so lame.
I mean, in the Tony Storm Mariah May matches, it made sense that Tony would have the shoe, but this is just like a match for the title. It's not even necessarily this huge blood feud. Where
he's just some shithead. What do you care if you hit him with the title? Like, yeah.
But what would Kenny's motivation be? Like, he wants to win the title. He doesn't just want to hurt MJF. He doesn't have a personal animosity towards him in that way. So why would he be tempted to hit him with the title? There was no reason for it. So yeah. I mean, I think I've said before, I like my differences to be fucking honorable, not cheating baby faces. Do you know?
There you go.
Don't even be tempted by it.
Oh wow! How can you be good if you're not tempted? Even Jesus was tempted.
Right, so true.
You can't be if you're never tempted. How can you truly be good? Well, that's. I'll leave that to the philosophers. But you know what I mean. Like you. If you gotta go through it. You gotta go through the meal. But I thought it was very corny, but I actually quite liked this whole the sequence. Yeah, it worked pretty well for me. Like then they caught Ospreay's kind of face was very nice as well. What the fuck?
Yeah. So one thing I loved in this match was the the heat playing into the story of the match. That they were wrecked, that they were tired, especially Kenny, since he has the diverticulitis thing that he always plays up as well. You have the fact that he's just covered in sweat, pouring the water on himself. And then towards the end, he was also doing like, I've got sand in my eye. I got sand in my eye, ref. Really, really great, though.
Yeah, these poor bastards having to wrestle these great matches in this heat. It looked tough.
Yeah.
Even like, again, you were talking earlier about Fletcher and Takeda. Everyone on this show, about 5 minutes into the match, started to look like Ron Burgundy in that one scene where he's drinking the milk. Just so regretting their choices and feeling like they were just in hell.
Yeah, Omega was starting to look like Brock Lesnar 30 seconds into one of his matches. Just like going puce. But really, really tremendous. I mean, definitely the best TV match of the year. Yeah, up there for match of the year for me, I would say. I predicted for this a 5 3/4 because I thought it was better than Swerve Ospreay.
I agree.
5.5. But then they just both got 5.5 ultimately. But I think that for me was better.
It's kind of funny.
Penny still got it.
I was thinking that exact same thing. It was like there's been a lot of concern, and rightfully so, about how. I mean, this story of this feud is Kenny going, how long do I have left? Right, that's it. But yeah, I think all his big TV matches have been great. I mean, and dare I say, at this stage of his life and career, there's a little bit more restraint in his matches, which is really good. Because I think the key difference between Swerve Ospreay was super divisive this time. I felt fairly neutral on it, but I would definitely agree that it was definitely more on the indulgent side, right? It was long. I probably would have got like 3 minutes of kickouts out of it and ended it a smidge earlier, things like that. But that also used to be Kenny's domain, that was often a criticism for him. And now it's kind of feel like he had a phenomenal match, and I don't feel like it stayed a hair over its welcome, But top-notch stuff. And so Kenny obviously will speak next week on Dynamite. And yes, we talked about MJF Ospreay. That'll probably be a pay-per-view match. I'm curious what Kenny does, if anything, at the pay-per-view at the Montreal.
Yeah, I mean, the talk is that the original plan was for him to win the belt in Canada. And now they've done it on TV. So what's the plan? What's the backup?
Yeah.
I don't hate the idea of not having a world title match at the pay-per-view, because they've basically said that it's going to be Omega Ospreay. Although we talked a bit earlier about the idea that maybe Ospreay could defend the right to be in the Wembley main event. But they also just did a pay-per-view, Forbidden Door, with no title match on it. So maybe based on the buys for that, maybe there would be a pressure for them to have some kind of world title match. Granted, they've only got 2 weeks to build to it, so they would need to do something sharpish. And I'm kind of struggling to think who it would be if not.
Unless you do a rematch. MJF rematch is the only thing I could think of, really.
They could do a rematch. Yeah, they could do a rematch, because they had all that chicanery at the end with Ospreay getting involved, and he could do a, Ospreay put his hands on me, that shouldn't count, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they could do that. That might be the most straightforward path.
Do you know what would be funny? They do the Omega celebration, or whatever they're calling it, on Dynamite. MJF comes out and says, I want my rematch. That wasn't fair. I got sand in my dick or something. It wasn't legitimate. And Kenny says to him, you can have your rematch, but if you lose, you never get to challenge for the belt again.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
I don't think they'll do it, because they probably would want MJF to be the champion. MJF would probably want to be the champion again. But that'd be an interesting wrinkle, story-wise, if they did that. But yeah, loved it. Two crackers on this show.
Yeah.
Even though the women's gauntlet wasn't great, I still do like those matches when done well. I like the idea of anyone can come out, that kind of Royal Rumble-y thing.
Yeah.
Really, just the only match that they do that. We did get a surprise. We got Arena appearance as well, a little like mystery person as well.
Yeah.
I still feel like those matches really should be like a once a year thing. and not like a men's one and a women's one at All In. Just have at some point during the year, you can have a women's one, you can have a men's one, but you don't do more than one each a year. You know, there was a period there where they were doing like fucking every 3 weeks they were doing one, and I feel like that's kind of part of the problem with making them feel special. And looking back at that All In 2024 one, where it was just like 11 main eventers in it, it's kind of been hard for them to live up to that in years following. Like, what did we get last year? Was Juice Robinson returns? That was like the biggest thing from my mind. Who won last year's All In?
No clue.
Gauntlet. I don't even remember. Was it?
I think that might even speak to the problem.
Yeah. Good show though.
Good show.
Great matches and a great venue. Good crowd. Definitely do it again.
Yeah, the pay-per-view is interesting because it does inherently feel a little bit filler, but at the same time, I think there's also kind of some room to do some interesting things as a result, because you know, what can you do to make it compelling?
We've got one match so far. That's it.
Yeah, Willow, and
2 weeks until Willow technically.
Why did they add this pay-per-view? It feels like it was just completely unnecessary.
I feel like it was already going this way. I feel like the creation of MyAEW probably accelerated their we got to get to one a month because we're trying to, we have a package.
It's funny because they do one a month and then they have nothing between December and March. Which is the weirdest. They don't do a pay-per-view in January or February.
I think this will be the last year that's the case. I would
possibly.
Because again, for those of you not in a market that has it, the tiers on AEW Plus are get the telly, and that month's pay-per-view. And that doesn't get you the pay-per-view archive, and then the highest tier gets you the full archive of the pay-per-views. So in order to have that mid-tier mean something, there has to be a pay-per-view every month. So there you go. Did you watch Collision? I did not.
I watched the first half of it.
I watched all of Collision.
Really? Oh, the Collision heads, the colliders are in attendance.
You know what? It was actually a really fun show. It was live. I was like looking at the lineup going, well, this doesn't look like too good. But I actually really enjoyed it. Opened with Bandido. Well, firstly put me off because they had a Ring of Honor match. Was there a promo before that?
I know, it opened with Hangman Page.
Oh, fuck, yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Hangman came back, by the way.
So I'm looking at Cage Match, so it doesn't apply most. Yeah, advertised like 2 days ago, all of a sudden, Hangman Page is back. It was in Virginia, Roanoke, Virginia, which is probably why. Hangman came back and kind of talked a little bit about, what he's been doing while he was away, basically gardening. He's been planting a lot of seeds, hint, hint. Narrative seeds, you might say. So he talks about that. He talks about being a man of his word, and although there's no contract that says he can't be AEW World Champion again, he's a man of his word, so won't be doing it. And then he talks about all the other belts that are out there. There's a TNT title held by a jackass, and then the international title, the continental title. So, yeah, the crowd were into it. He seemed kind of fired up. I think this might be the beginning of, I don't know, what does Hangman do now? Goes for the Grand Slam. Is that his next move? I can't help but think eventually it builds to him going for the world title again somehow, but
Well, he said he's not allowed, or not by his own word, he's not going to ever challenge for the AEW Men's World Championship ever again. Tekla, watch your back, girl. Hanger's coming.
God. But yeah, good promo. I mean, nothing kind of massive storyline wise, but I think it's one of those AEW promos of like, oh, we've sown some seeds for the future. I think it's kind of.
Yeah, it did feel like he kind of didn't really say anything specific though. The whole speech could be boiled down to, yeah, I was away gardening for a few months, and now we have got like 4 singles belts, and I'll probably go for one of them.
Did he mention the national title? I think he did, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. Good.
Mark Davis, I'm coming for you.
You should forget that one.
Yeah, I do. I guess that AEW needs to get people watching the TV and all that, but and I get that announcing like Hangman's going to be on Collision probably will bump the ratings slightly or whatever. God, I still feel like that's something that you do as a surprise, and the way you try to drive ratings up is to establish that the show can have surprises and anything can happen. This just felt so weirdly throwaway when he had this huge storyline with MJF where he's not going to challenge for the belt, and then he lost the match and disappeared. Like Luke Skywalker has vanished. And then they announced his return on a random episode of The Mandalorian instead of it being a big to do, you know? It was just strange. And I thought his delivery was excellent, by the way. I thought his promo was really good.
Yeah, he's brilliant. He's a brilliant promo.
But I didn't come away from it feeling like I know what the direction is and I'm excited for it. It was at the same time really well delivered, and I'm happy to have him back, but I would have liked something a bit more pointed or a bit more clear in terms of where we're going with Hangman. I mean, the way they announced his return, they'll probably just put up a tweet saying on Redemption he's going to be against Kevin Knight. That'll be it.
That's it. Like, what's his burning kind of quest? You know, he doesn't really have one. Or it wasn't clear.
That's the thing. He just said to win one of the belts.
Yeah, I think there needs to be a specific, like, I'm coming back and I'm going to do this, you know. I didn't get that.
Yeah, even if he said, like, specifically pointed out, say, Moxley, you know, say that the journey that took me from being world champion to not being able to ever again be world champion started with John Moxley at All In last year. So I'm going to restart my journey again with Moxley and go for that Continental Championship, or, you know, something related to his story. But he just matter-of-factly named all four of the champions and said, you know, what do you use, maybe? I don't know. Good to have him back, though. Like I said, his
it is.
I don't know. I found in the past some of his promos could be a bit, or not his promos, his like delivery could be a bit up and down. But I thought this was great, really great in terms. I like that he had a little haircut again. He's got the little, almost the little bob that he had when he first turned heel. So just, you know, get that mustache back, and we'll be totally happy. Then we're talking. Then we're happy.
I think what made the Cody thing a little bit more intriguing and interesting and easier to follow was there was one other title at the time, and so it felt very natural to have him go, well, I'm, you know. And for the audience to understand, it's like, well, we know he's a top guy. He's Cody. They're doing this tournament for this new title. He wins it. He's doing open challenges. You just made the 1-to-1 case. Okay, this is the Intercontinental title back when that meant something. This is like the 80s, like proper real deal number 2 title. Very easy to understand. In general, I'm not there's too many belts guy. I think that campaign's a little overrated. But I do think if you have a singular mid-card title, I think it helps that singular mid-card title feel special. Whereas, now Hangman's like, okay, I can't go for the world title. And it's like, you've got like 4 options that don't really, like I didn't even think to mention this during the Takeshita Fletcher match. What even is the international title anymore when they've kind of moved the touring champion gimmick over to the national title? That champion also doesn't go anywhere, but Ricochet and Davis wrestled on like Ring of Honor once each. It's like that's cheating. That does not count at all. You know, TNT is, I mean, you know, it is what it is. They kind of bounce it around to people. You know,
TNT at least has that history. It
has the history.
It's the original mid-card belt, and it's like that does always feel like that's just the young guy up-and-comer kind of belt. I know it hasn't always been held by up-and-comers, but that has at least some identity, whereas international is just... It's random, but it's like also the name is just the shittiest name for a belt. It's like what you name a belt in your E-Fed when you're 12, which is probably where Tony can't.
That's probably what he did.
It's probably what he did. You know what I mean? Continental, okay, that's the tournament. National.
Yeah, I was going to say, I guess I would assume, and Moxley has helped this a lot, I guess the Continental is the real number 2 now. Right?
Yes.
The tournament every year, the tournament's like a highlight of the whole year, and Moxley's held, like the guys who've held it have had great reigns, and Okada held it for ages, you know, a year. So that is the real meaningful. All these other ones, though, I mean, because it was part of that whole confusion when Okada won, and he also had the international. And I was like, oh, they're getting rid of the international. And then they were like, no. I was like, oh, why? Why not? I would, if I was you, I would definitely get rid of it and just say we unified it.
They have 3 completely indistinguishable belts, and they have the Continental belt that has the no
outside interference. Yeah. God,
But the other 3 are completely interchangeable.
God, remember when they also, when Okada won them, and he also had the unified title, and then AEW would always be really snippy when people assumed that the belts had been unified. It's like, well, you had one guy win them both, and then you gave him a title called the unified title.
Yeah,
why is that my fault? Why is that my fault that I think that's what happened?
I tell you what would have been a better direction for Hangman if he was going to name all the champions and the belts, is for him to say that his quest now, since he cannot hold the world title, is he's going to hold all the other titles.
That'd be cool.
He's going to his gold run is he's going to hold all 4 of the other titles.
He'd be like Fred Angle in TNA, and
maybe not all at the same time.
You get all the power. You
then you get the matchmaker.
You get to book if you win 4 titles. Whoa, dear, oh dear. Anyway, Bandido beat Shibata. So this is what, as I was saying, like, this was a Ring of Honor world title match. So you had the Bobby Cruise and everything. I was like, I don't really see Ring of Honor in AEW. It just gives me, it takes me back to when he first bought it, and it was every
shot all over it.
I know. So, but this was all right. Bandido won, decent little match. Guess this is really just, I don't know, what is this, setting up Bandido for something bigger in AEW? This is another thing. This is another thing they use as like a singles belt, isn't it? The Ring of Honor World Title. Sometimes
it is like a AEW mid-card belt.
They sometimes bring it in as like another mid-card belt when they need to.
Has Tony given up the prospect of selling this as its own standalone thing? Because they treat this like the European title. I mean, it's not protected at all. So if you have any hope of selling this
24/7 Ring of Honor title.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if you have any hope of selling this to like a streamer or a cable company and go, no, it's real deal, like it's its own company and it's got its own roster. And then they turn on your B show and the world champions facing another jabroni in the opener. Like it's they've given up the ghost on that. I mean, I it's kind of ridiculous.
Then there was a Shida Harley Cameron segment where Shida was just being a bit of a bitch. I mean, Harley was like, I don't know, trying to make the case that she's a serious wrestler. So it was all right. I'm not really can live without this feud, if in all honesty.
What does TBS stand for?
The big show.
Well, the best is Shida, according to
not bad.
That'd be
TBIS.
You're missing there. That wouldn't have the Dwayne Johnson Busters.
When you're capitalizing a movie title, you don't is and those are the two. Those are the two. Or if there's an or in there, you don't typically capitalize that. Maybe, but yeah.
So then, Shida beat Cameron. Title defense. 8-man tag, Death Riders versus the guys, just the top flight and AF, that
the lads, yeah.
Get kind of, whole thing there. There was another segment. Who the hell was even in it? It was a
conglomeration with Willow.
But I was thinking of another one of like, there might have been later with The Demand, and it was like.
And Matt Sydal and Guy.
Yeah, Matt Sydal was trying to convince them.
Lethal Twist.
He was trying to convince Lethal Twist not to join The Demand. Honestly, I couldn't have fast-forwarded quicker. This is brutal. Brutal segment, honestly. Good lord.
That's what Ricochet's doing now. And I remember I was saying Ricochet, since he joined The Demand, had felt less important since that whole thing came together. He's feuding with Matt Sydal now on Collision.
Good lord. So that was that. The 8-man tag Death Riders beat the Jabrones. It was what it was. My highlight was John Moxley getting on the mic afterwards and a bit heelish, not fully, but he talked about they just got back from Mexico City and altitude is fake. It's for people who don't train hard enough. And I was like, yeah, I was emulating Thomas Tuchel there. So that was fun. And then a couple of kind of just like heater matches. So Brian Cage coming out with a comically cartoonish bandage around his head. I I kind of missed what that was, but yeah, it was.
That was from the bomb on Dynamite.
I'm sorry. What? Oh, when he found the back. Was it
The skateboard.
the skate? Oh,
They floated on.
God.
Float.
Such bollocks. This. I said this was a good show. It was fun. The crowd were really up for it. It was a really good, like, live kind of, good crowd, but a lot of bollocks on this. He beat Zachary Wentz in a fine, decent match, whatever. Then, so Trent Beretta was there and was slagging off Darby Allin, saying, "Oh, he's not even here." And then Darby Allin comes out and they have an impromptu match, which Darby won in 4 minutes again.
You're joking. Darby beat Trent. Are you kidding?
It's mad, isn't it? So I guess, heating Darby up for his pay-per-view match, maybe. And then the highlight of the show, the main event. Oh, so this was actually really good. Mark Davis versus Mike Bailey in the Team Barry derby. Davis is so good, man. Like, Carl Fletcher was on commentary for this match and was pretty good. Not quite as good as Tekla, earlier in the week, but he was pretty good. He was really getting involved. Kind of a big man, little man match. Just Davis throwing Bailey around everywhere. Lots of really good near falls. Davis looked really, really good. I almost just want to see Davis and Fletcher back as like a kind of, I know they were a tag team, but I feel like they could now be like a super team. It's like two great singles guys who used to be a tag team, now back together. Like even just a short run of them versus like the Bucks or something. Yeah. Would be tremendous. Really good main event. So if you can have main events like this with the singles belts on a regular basis, that would go a long way to actually making them feel a bit more purposeful and distinct. But they don't. But very good.
I watched the first half of this show. I had the second half on the background while I was watching Argentina, Switzerland. I liked Willow's promo. She does a thing now where she says a line and she goes, like she's almost like a little death metal growl in between her lines. I saw her. I don't know if this is new. This might be old and I just missed it. But on her Titantron, it has Harley in the cutesy like bubble letters, and then Nightingale like on the like a metal band logo.
Yeah.
That's fun. Her promo was quite good. She got a new backpack as well with like rainbows on it as well. And then the only other comment I have is on Sheeta Cameron. Bowling shoe ugly, this one.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Oh man, it was dreadful. What's happened to Sheeta? Sheeta was like real good. She has slowed down so considerably in ring. Really bad.
I've always found her a little bit inconsistent, and I would say would have a great match with a great opponent, but she would not elevate someone beneath her, and the idea of her and Harley doesn't sound very good to that end.
Really bad stuff. Okay, that's your conclusion. No, more wrestling. I thought we were finished with wrestling. We're not. I watched night one of the New Japan Pro Wrestling Grand Prix.
That's correct.
The G1. It was very good.
Really? Okay, interesting.
Yeah. I was a little bit wary after last year, which for me was one of the first years that it completely washed over me and I wasn't super into it. Apart from Takeshita's match every night, which was the best, everything else was kind of so this was night one, was from Chicago, not in Japan, and featured 9 matches.
Okay.
Between A block and B block. I'm not sure who was missing. I know Gabe Kidd didn't have a match. Oh, I guess it would be Gabe Kidd, Driller Maloney, because he also wasn't on the show. Aaron Wolf Hinare in a good Haas fight, basically.
I forgot Aaron Wolf was in.
Yes, it was good. I would like Aaron Wolf to lay it in a little bit more, because he does that New Japan strong style, heavyweight style, where they do they take a big forearm and they fire up. But he doesn't look like he really lays the shots in stiffly enough for that style to sort of make sense. The match still was very good, and Hinare is very good, but I would like to see Wolf be a little bit more violent in his style. Some good throws and stuff. He's got a judo background, of course. He did win. Aaron Wolf won with a angle slam variation. He's like a reverse angle slam.
Okay.
Jake Lee Shingo. I'm still just not really a Jake Lee fan. He's got a new kind of clown gimmick where he does his face like the Joker, kind of.
Oh, scary.
But he did beat Shingo with a not very good kick in the corner. So he does like a haluva kick type thing. But I mean, that foot was not higher than Shibata's belly button, let me tell you. So a bit of a disappointment. This is maybe, for me, the biggest disappointment on the show, because I love Shingo, but Jake Lee just does not do it for me. Oscar Red Narita, really good. This is my first time seeing either of the Knockout brothers, Oscar and Yuto Ice. Very impressive. Oscar Red Narita, really good. No House of Torture bollocks.
Oh, well, that goes a long way, I guess.
Just had a match. Ren Narita now dresses as like evil.
Oh, good.
Since Evil's flown the coop, Ren Narita found his little suitcase with his gear in it. Said, I'll wear that gear now. Yeah, very good. And then Yuto Ice, then Oscar won, and then Yuto Ice also won, defeating Great Okan. So all the debutants were winning here. Very good. Zack Sabre Jr., Shota Umino, the first really good match of the show. They obviously main evented Tokyo Dome a few years ago. But this was really good stuff. Zack Sabre Jr. winning with 2 Zack drivers. Good 4-star match, I'd say. Goto Sanada. Sanada, interesting, because he obviously disappeared from New Japan, then had a big return. Mm-hmm. And then they're just like beating him since he came back. The old punishment. So Goto beat him here with the GTR. Sanada came out with an outrageous walkout attire. It was like head to toe gold plated with a giant gold hat.
Okay.
Look it up if you're interested in that. Very good match again. Callum Newman, Yuya Uemura. You can definitely see Newman's development since last year's G1. Okay. Where I was kind of nonplussed by him. Very good showing here. Also by Yuya Uemura. I mean, I think since I dip into New Japan only periodically, I can see how far people come along since I saw them last year. Mm-hmm. So like Shota, Yuya, Bolton, to an extent, Tsuji as well. But this match was great as well. Very good showing for both. Oiwa, Bolton, a little bit of a step down from the previous couple of matches, but still quite good. Oiwa got the win there with a London Dungeon submission. And then main event was Tsuji Takeshita, which was, of course, the match of the show, as you maybe would expect. Tsuji with the win with his new finisher, which does the Gene Blaster spear, but he does like a twisting spear now, where he runs into a spear, and as he makes contact, he kind of holds on and flips them around, almost like a kind of a mix between a Blue Thunder and a spear, I guess. But very good match. So, I mean, of night one, I'll give it a thumbs up. And I'd say the matches to check out, if interested, for anyone listening, would be Zack Sabre Jr., Shota, Callum Newman, Uemura, and the main event, Tsuji Takeshita. All 3 a good time.
All right, off to a good start. So that's good.
Yep.
Did anyone watch The Dark Side of the Ring?
Yes, sir.
Earlier.
Of course.
Before we get into it, I will say I'm gobsmacked that this is 3 parts. I watched it with the wife, and when the second episode ended with a next time, she was like, what? Is this entire season just this? I was like, no, I believe that is the final one next. But yes, episode 1 and 2, Jeff Jarrett and the battle for TNA. First episode a little bit more Jeff biographical.
Yes.
And then the second half more about, I don't know, it's weird. It's that typical Dark Side of the Ring thing where I enjoyed it, but if you want to be a stickler for details, probably could. Second half is, I was going to say it's more about the Spike TV era, but they're really kind of fudging a lot of time on that thing. But what did you make of it all before we get into it, I suppose, Paul?
I thought it was enjoyable enough. It's funny how biased towards Jeff Jarrett it is.
Yeah.
And that's not to say Jeff Jarrett was. I mean, they also point out that he had his issues and so on, but I mean, they're really getting Dixie Carter when she's down in this. Yeah, I thought it was very watchable. I think I agree with you that there's timelines that don't necessarily perfectly add up, and they're saying things like, well, Jeff Jarrett, of course, had to be the world champion, because what if someone came in and was not trustworthy, and as opposed to just being sort of a vanity project for Jeff Jarrett for those, 2002 to 2006, where he was constantly the world champion and feuding with people like Rhino and Raven. While and you know that's part of it as well, as they're saying, well, when Bischoff came in and they were holding down the young guys, it's like, yeah, well, he didn't give them a huge amount of chances in the main event either, you know. And just as didn't win the world title for the first time until 07,
09, I think it was, yeah.
09 even. I mean, yeah. So I mean, it's self-serving.
It's very pro-Jeff Jarrett. But look, whenever it's the subject, unless it's like if it's a biographical thing about a person who's still alive who speaks with the documentary, yeah, they tend to be a little soft towards it. The other thing they're soft on is the concept of TNA in general. You know, they make it seem like it was the classest thing ever. Other than
even that it was the classest, that it was doing super well.
That's the thing as well. We're doing great. Jeff Jarrett constantly says we were doing the best ratings ever. We were doing they really. And again, it's like for a show that is kind of for a little bit more of a casual audience who don't really care about that stuff. I think a lot of the fudging they do on the timeline and some of the details like that, it's broadly fine for what they're trying to do, but it is fudged. So that's one thing. The general performance of TNA is one thing. When the beginning of episode 2, when they mentioned how big a deal it was that Kurt Angle was coming to TNA, I didn't want to pause it and annoy my wife by clarifying some things, but I was saying to myself, are they just gonna? Because I think they literally used the phrase, he had done all there was to do in WWE and then was going away. And then when Karen Jarrett comes on, she does say that he was having problems, right? So they don't completely shy away from that. But I had to pause. I was like, okay, I just have to explain this to you right now. They literally thought he was going to die in WWE. They were like, he was on death's door, and they thought he was a giant liability. It was post Eddie Guerrero dying, and they were petrified that he was also going to drop dead on their watch because of his injuries and his demons, right?
Yeah, drug abuse.
Yeah, whereas Karen Jarrett just kind of made it sound like, you know, he had his substance issues, you know, in the way that was almost made it sound like, well, you know, like everyone, right? You know,
yeah.
Well, they mentioned in it. I don't remember the point, but they mentioned that like after his matches, he would be like lying on the floor backstage, not able to move.
Yeah.
So they did sort of touch on that, but yeah, they did say like they put it over as this big deal, which ultimately popped a few buy rates. I don't know that it made long term a huge difference to TNA's viewership or profitability. Bottom line,
that is one of the funny things about Angle's legacy is it did feel huge at the time, but you look back at it, what did it really do? What did it really do for them? Really do? You know, again,
and it was the funniest
Joe buy rates, like, you know,
whoopies. The funniest thing of the whole 2 hours was when they're talking about the WWE guys that came across, and they said some of them really came to make a difference, and then some other ones were just the money. And while they're showing the ones who came to make a difference, Booker T was part. And then Kevin Nash was like the one that they're like,
they singled him out a little bit. Yeah.
I'm like, Vanessa did way more for TNA than Booker T ever did.
Yeah. It's one of those dark side episodes where the nerds of you watching, they probably find some of that grating. Another one, right? Because again, now they put the boots to Russo a lot, as everyone always does, because you've no shortage of talking heads who will talk about how he's crap, right? But Jarrett obviously likes him. Although the funny thing is, they do kind of make it seem like Jeff leaned more towards his father's preference. Like, Jeff obviously loves Russo, but is also not a fool when it comes to his writing abilities. But one thing, that when they come to him being ousted, right? And they talk about him being ousted during the whole alleged affair, you know, scandal. And they talk about how around that time, Russo was left to his own devices, and they do a little sizzle reel of terrible things. And that was real, striking the same rib twice, producing two different sounds. I was getting so Cinema Sins pills on my chair. I was like, they showed footage of like Black Rain. And I was reaching for the pause button, and I had to explain to my wife, who didn't give a fuck. I was like, this one I did not bother boring her with the details. I'll bore the listeners. I was like, all that god awful shit Russo produced, that was all on Jeff Jarrett's watch. That was all while he was the champion on top of the world. The Black Rain stuff was 2 matches below him on the card. He was there for all of that. And if you really, really, really want to get into the weeds, when Jarrett was ousted of the company, that was the period, like, that was around the time they announced Hogan, but before Hogan actually came in. And that little period is actually relatively tame by Russo standards, because he was basically in go slow. Like, don't do anything important before Hogan comes in. That was when they had like the Angle Nigel series, because it was like, I'm gonna take time off, bro, and work on Hulk stuff. You want to do some boring, stupid wrestling while I'm kind of working on Hulk stuff? You know what I mean? It was like, so again, very favorable to Jeff to be like, oh, Jeff left, and then all this terrible Russo stuff was like 80% of that company's output. While he was an 8-time world champion. So again, very generous to Jeff in that telling of events there. But I suppose the big noteworthy thing was that Karen Jarrett was on it and said that her and Kurt had separated by the time she and Jeff were an item. Which
for like a year, she said.
Yes, which if we take at face value, and I have no reason not to take it at face value, that is Dark Side of the Ring gets full of these every now and then. I think that's genuine news, because it was such taken at face value wrestling gossip, gospel that they had an affair. That's why Jeff was kicked out, because it was a scandal that rocked the office, and he was ousted for that reason. It was I had never even heard a suggestion to the contrary in the last 15 years that actually that wasn't what happened. It was most people would have said it was they had an affair. Was the gossip at the time. Yeah, other than those little nitpicks, I think the usual kind of fun watching Dark Side of the Ring stuff. Lots of good talking heads. You get Cornette, Scott Steiner, Scott D'Amore, little Tony Khan in there a little snippet of Tony Khan in there at one point. No Dixie. She declined to comment. I would have loved to have seen a version of this with her in it. You want to talk about something?
Head on it is burying her.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about Jeff getting the. I mean, they put the boots to Dixie. I will say. Now, listen, people have been doing that for 16, 17. It's not like Dark Side of the Ring didn't have to work very hard to manufacture this idea that she didn't know what she was doing. I think that's a very commonly held belief. But she gets railroaded so much that as it was going on, I was like, I kind of do wish she chose not to be a part of it. I kind of wish she was, just to even get a little bit of the other side, because there's so many carnies doing talking heads in this, talk about how she's a fool. And my thing has always been fair, like, sure, she's a money match. She knew nothing about wrestling, and she wrote this company checks foolishly for 15 years, whatever it was. But my thing is, when you see the Cornettes and the Russos and all these other people talking about her, I was like, okay, you were the ones burning that money by producing shite. Do you know what I mean? So it's a little bit. It makes me wince a little bit when everyone's talking about how stupid she was and da. Yeah.
So she's also Machiavellian power plays.
Yeah, that's probably the real thing. That's the real negative she gets out of this. Is she's really portrayed as a conniver, and basically they pretty much just outright say that it was known that Kurt and Karen were separated, and she chose to play it like an affair, explicitly just to force Jeff out. Which is a pretty substantial thing to be saying.
I'm hoping in part 3 they touch a little bit on the Impact Zone and the decision to move away from there, because they talk briefly on this, just about we were playing in front of these like ravenous fans every week. It's like, well, you had the studio in Universal Studios, and the tickets were given away for free basically. But that part of the slide downhill was also the move away from the impact zone. The decision to go live, obviously they will cover, but also the decision to tour. So I'm interested to see if that comes into it at all.
I'm almost certain you will be correct and they will do that, because I did notice in both the episodes there was a very specific 30 seconds in both episodes enthusing about the importance of the ring and the ring being secure. Because so the next episode is seemingly going to be Hogan heavy. And so they will talk about the ring. And I feel like when they talk about the ring, they will surely talk about the piece who rejected the ring. And, we weren't the biggest company, but we had these diehards to support us through it all, and they felt slighted. I'm certain that will be the crux of the... I wonder if Hogan will be interviewed in it. Anyway...
and will they cover the 6 months or whatever it became Global Force Wrestling?
Yeah, is that too minutia? Is that too into the weeds?
It's part of the story.
It is part of it. I think they will probably get into the idea of him doing a different thing and then folding it up and joining AEW. I feel like will they get into that weird period where they... I barely remember, they merged or something, or Impact bought it or something.
All their belts became the GFW.
Yeah, they all do. What a bizarre period that was. And I wonder, I assume, does it go? I imagine this is a lot to cram into one last episode, and it's it's going to be Hogan heavy. It's going to be mainly Hogan, I would say, but I assume it's going to go all the way up until like the court case with Dixie and Billy Corgan.
Yeah, they've got to cover Billy Corgan coming in, and
they've made Dixie a main character,
they're so they could do 4 episodes. They could do more.
Do they? I think they will. Again, is this too much of a side tangent to get into in one 45-minute episode? Do they get into Dixie accidentally emailing Mike Johnson?
Yeah, they surely will. That's them losing the TV deal.
Intending to email Mike Tenay and saying, my friend Vince Russo, who works here, by the way. That whole fucking saga. My God. Anyway, yeah, good stuff. Again, watchable stuff if you don't want to get too hung up on. I
wish they'd interviewed Kurt Angle for it as well.
That would have been great. Another notable absence. He
might have been more critical to it than like Jim Mitchell.
Yeah, a lot of it was the same kind of TNA kind of whitewashing we've had for ages. The X division was so great. It was, but I really hate the revisionism of acting like they went super hard on it and it was the greatest thing ever and they pushed them really hard. The X division was really cool, but it was, again,
something that
was you and Road Dogg in the main event, pal. That's what it was in the early.
But also the X division had fallen apart long before Hogan.
Yes, yeah.
Which they will definitely push as Hogan and Bischoff ruining. But like that division was dead by 07.
Hogan and Bischoff will be, and rightfully so to a certain extent, but they will be the other big villains because they were portrayed in that last episode as Dixie, which they were Dixie's big project. So I'm certain. I think it's in some of the teaser footage. They're definitely going to show the legendary footage of her basically dressing down the roster and saying, if you're not on board with me bringing in Hogan, there's the door. And everyone, AJ Styles looked like he wanted to kill himself in the audience.
And they can show the segments where Hogan comes in and goes, cha, brother.
Oh, and in 1 week we had this great segment. It was crazy. Hogan comes in and he's flexing, and I hated Hogan and Dixie, but I was like, man, what a great segment that was, where he flexed to go, the network. No, brother. A 3-way with Ed Anderson. No.
There. Oh, God. Oh, I love it. The one good thing that came out of those years, that promo.
And that was like the last Impact before the pay-per-view as well, where they made that match.
Yeah.
So what else we got from here? Dark Side of the Ring, Season 7. Episode list. Here we go. Thank you, IMDb. IMDb doesn't have it. I know one of them is they're doing Samoa Joe versus the Necro Butcher. which is a great. That's another one where it's kind of like, I mean, it's a great match. There's probably some funny stories to tell from that match, but I don't know how you get an epic. I assume it will mostly be about Necro Butcher,
Necro Butcher and Deathmatch Wrestling in general.
Yeah. So that's the next episode after the TNA one. Then Big Boss Man, Renegade Rick Wilson, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, Missy Hyatt, and Zach Gowen. Yeah, we're kind of stretching it a little bit. We're stretching it a little bit. I mean, I don't know what he's been up to in the last 20 years. What's Dark Side of the Ring? What's Zach Gowen?
How about Dark Side of the Ring? Vince McMahon is a rapist.
Well, you would wonder. You would wonder if that will come up at any point.
How about season 8? WWE, just everything that's wrong with them.
They could do a Vince season. I mean, they could do a Vince season. Although I will say, I remember when we first started going out and I was watching this with my now wife. I mean, the first 3 seasons, she's like, I'm noticing a common denominator in a lot of these stories when it relates to companies being put out of business or people dying or being mistreated or being frozen out and all this other stuff. So there was that you could say that's what this entire show is. Yeah, that was Dark Side. Segue out of Dark Side and let's talk about some non-wrestling things. Who's seen a movie this week?
I've seen a movie.
What did you see?
Popped along to the old movie Wednesday, third time in a week, because I love movies. Show loves the movies. Saw Blue Heron, which is a Hungarian-Canadian production. Partly in Hungarian, but also largely in English, not all subtitled. So it's an indie film. It's about a Hungarian family that emigrates to Canada, and they have a teenage son who has this kind of delinquency disorder that is basically ripping the family apart. So this not kind of beyond just a troubled teen who's getting into trouble. This is what they call it, defiant disorder kind of a issue. So it's one of these a very kind of European film where it takes its time. This is not a kind of boom, 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 everything's happening all at once. This is very much we'll see a shot of the mum and the daughter peeling potatoes for 2 minutes, right?
Right.
That's symbolism, and it's telling us something about the characters and the point right in the film. So if you don't like that, you're probably you just want to fast forward to the next action scene. This is not the film for you. But it was very, very touching. It's kind of told. The first half of the film is sort of told through the perspective of the youngest daughter, who's 6, 7, 8 years old. So you're not really seeing it from her perspective, but we see her as a sort of central character in a lot of the scenes while all this stuff is going on. And then the second half, I won't spoil, but it kind of goes in quite a different direction to sort of look back at this period where they weren't able to control the son. But really kind of interesting. I think it's autobiographical by this Hungarian director, and very sort of interesting portrayal of a family torn apart by this, this issue. But it's an issue that involves, a loved one. It's the son, it's the brother. They can't just up and leave and get away from it. It would always be there, even if the kid goes or something happens. You can't move away from that. That was your family. It's always there. So it looks like the impact on the wider family and kind of how they look back at that. So yeah, really nice film. If you do get a chance, maybe when it's on streaming, check it out. I don't think it'd be a big release really. So yeah, Blue Heron, one to add to your list. It was very. When I see films like that, I just think, I should watch more films like this.
Yeah.
But at home, it's just that thing of being on the phone or looking at a laptop and not really paying attention to a film. When you're in the cinema, the lights are down, you're going to watch the film and you're like, yes. It's like me reading the books the last few months. I'm like, oh yeah, reading a book is good. And I feel better. When I sit and watch an interesting film with emotions and actors and a theme, I feel good. I like it. You just have to force yourself to do it and then you enjoy it. So yeah, we'll check that out. Let's say some guy came in about halfway through the film, right? You suddenly hear the door open at the back. And then there's a bright light comes on and I was like, was there an usher or something? Is there a problem? Some guy just walks down the middle aisle with the torch on his phone switched on.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Trying to find his seat. And I'm like, bro, there's 10 people in this in this screen. Just half over, just sit in any fucking seat. But he gets to the front and he's like, looking around to find his.
Yeah.
Oh god, that was only negative, but yes, it was good, very good. Heron.
Yeah, so it's got. I'm looking here on their website. I don't see a streaming date yet. But I think it's still in cinemas. So,
yeah.
I've got a decent whack of things that are going to tempt me to go to the actual cinema in the next couple of weeks. I would obviously like to see the old Odyssey. I would like to see that new Evil Dead. I was kind of hoping I could go see that Evil Dead when the Odyssey is out, because that will draw the big crowds away. But Evil Dead being a horror means it'll kind of always have its little audience. So I just try and go see these things when there's as little people there as possible. And I mean, I feel like I'm just not going to bother seeing the new Spider-Man in the cinema, because it's just once you get to that level of popularity, you're just attracting the biggest freaks, and it's just like I'll just wait. I know those big Disney ones still take a while to go on streaming. I'm all right. I don't want to watch it while someone in the corner of my eye is doing Wordle. I just don't care enough about that. But yeah, I watched 2 films on streaming, of course. This week I watched. Let me pull up actually the deets of this one, because they are escaping me. I watched The Furious, which is a Hong Kong action movie of sorts, starring Joe. Is it Joe Taslim? Is that how you pronounce that guy's name? I always say Talzim, but it's Taslim. Renowned martial arts actor, been in most cool Asian action movies you've seen.
He's the raid guy.
He's the raid guy.
Not the raid.
He's not
guy.
the raid guy.
The raid guy.
But yeah, he's the other raid guy. He's in a million movies like this. So he's been in a lot of cool ones and also a lot of crap ones. Like, he's just a go-to guy. Also, speaking of raid guy, also in this one you had Yayan Ruian, am I pronounced that correctly? He was Raid 1 and 2.
Oh, he's the long-haired Raid.
And yeah, the Force Awakens guy who's pursuing.
Oh, they're
Solo.
all the Force Awakens.
Yeah. So he's in this one as well. So good, good pedigree here. This is a sort of like a. This is like a if You Were Never Really Here was a Hong Kong action movie. You know, that Joaquin Phoenix. Fucking like almost Pizzagate.
Yeah.
Like a single cool guy has to go and stop child trafficking. That's it. That's the same basic premise here. Our central character, Zimao is the actor's name. He plays a mute with a mysterious background. They don't really kind of get into it. He's sick at martial arts. I know that much. I think there's a lore reason for that. He's training his daughter in martial arts in the opening act of the film. But wouldn't you know it, she gets kidnapped by a notorious ring of child traffickers. Joe Taslim's character, his wife is a journalist who was investigating this child trafficking ring, and she went missing. So that's these two people can converge on this. And I mean, obviously the big selling point here is the action, and I will say it's some of the most innovative fight choreography I've seen in years and years and years. I mean, specifically with, I think, the hook for this one being very large scale, multi-person, like piles of people. Like, there's some very unique, very over the top fights in this. And I think over the top is the turn of phrase. I mean, even by the standards of this genre, this movie is very, very loose grasp on it's not going for hyper realism. There's a German suplex like 5 minutes into the movie, right? That's the tone setter, right? They get that out of the way nice and early. It's very cheesy, it's very over the top. In the opening act, the main character's daughter is kidnapped. He goes into the police station, and he's a mute, so he's like writing all these notes like child kidnapped, check CCTV, and the cops are all like, sir, we gotta file a report here, sir. Please, we just sit down here. It's very important. And he gets all frustrated, and he somberly walks past the biggest forkboard of missing children posters you've ever seen in your life. It's so over the top. It's so ridiculous. But yeah, the fight choreography is out of this world, and in particular, some of the key fights, some of the main characters. I mean, it is so so down to the microsecond, the speed at which these people are moving. It's absolutely unbelievable. It's so well done. Really, really great. And also that, you know, those great kind of like Asian action movies where there's really no overabundance of cutting. Everything is shot with the idea being that you will see what's happening, because that's why you're watching this film, is to see these fights happen, right? So really, really great. Really enjoyed it. Very cheesy story, to a good degree, and top-notch fight choreography. So yeah, The Furious, well worth adding to your pile if you are into this this genre. On a completely different note, I watched Caroline, the latest film from Adam Raimier. Is that how you pronounce that? Whose other films I have not seen, but you better believe I'm going to go check them out after watching this, because this was one of my favorite films of the year thus far. I have this at number 3 up there with Obsession and Nirvana the Band. I loved this film. I really, really loved it. It's Samara Weaving and Kyle Gallner as it's straight. It's a Bonnie and Clyde, right? It's a young lovers go on a tour of the southern U.S. states on a crime odyssey. He is a suave kind of con man. He's more of a grifter than a gangster necessarily. He's doing everything from like robbing banks, but also just like using sleight of hand to like get more change at a petrol station than what he gave in, right? That's kind of his thing. She is a very kind of naive, small town Texas gal. He's wowed by his suaveness, and then decides to join him on his grifting journey around the southern states. And once they hook up together, they decide to also kind of make their way towards South Carolina, where her estranged mother, who she never knew, is there. So they're kind of going on this crime journey with this kind of loose goal of also finding her mother along the way. It is incredibly well done in terms of it's not reinventing the wheel. Obviously, the premise is not the most original thing you probably have ever heard ever, but it's a very well written, very tightly paced version of this story, and it has 2 of my favorite performances of the entire year. And Kyle Gallner is always great in everything. Like, he's a very underrated guy. Like, he's just perennially in these kind of like big indies, but not really big indies. You know what I mean? Like, he's in, what was that thing last year, the year before? Did you watch Stranger Darling, either of you? I can't remember if you watched that.
No, but I know the movie.
Yeah, it was really good. Like, he's constantly in, and this is movies. He's constantly in movies of like this size. Do you know what I mean? Where they never really break through, but he's really great. Samara Weaving is in 100 films. I feel like she's never taken a day off. This is by far the best performance of her career so far that I've seen. Not even really close. I mean, she's kind of slotting into the kind of Hollywood girls can kick ass too kind of role, right? Which she's good at, right? I like the Ready or Not movies, right? But this is kind of like when you see someone like Sebastian Stan in a Marvel movie for 10 years, and then you see him in like an actual movie, and you go, oh, he actually has something. He can do something beyond that. She is incredible in this film, like really, really outrageous. Like, just one of my favorite performances of the year, as that kind of like extremely naive and kind of coy small town girl who then has to have this arc and evolve and go on this journey. Really, really great. My most thorough recommendations for everyone to check this one out. Yeah, and I'm trying to think. Yeah, those are my 2 movies for the week. No movies for you, Paul?
No, I'm obviously watching the football, watching now the G1. I guess I've been watching a movie of sort, a nice little compilation called No Son of Mine, which is Barry playing Super Mario Sunshine from 5 years ago, which I've been watching and loving all over again.
Oh.
Especially the first hour where you start playing the game, you say, this game's fine. I don't understand what all the hate's about. This game controls well, Mario moves fluidly. I don't get what the issue is. I mean, within 30 minutes, they totally turned into the Joker. Completely Joker fight. So that's something that I revisit almost once a year. So it was time, and it's an absolute joy. But yeah, that's what I'm watching in lieu of watching movies. I'm already on part 6 of that.
Oh, wow, make the time.
So anytime I'm I'm lying on the couch, or I just have I just pull up the iPad, and it's there in my watch history, so I just stick it on. So,
well, I appreciate you. I appreciate you revisiting.
I just watched you push the watermelon down the hill for about half an hour, which actually you did quite well on.
Oh, the watermelons
for that. But God, not a game I'd be rushing to replay myself.
No,
it's funny. I think Joe and myself had 100% of it before you played it, so we were like warning you.
Yeah,
but it's a wonderful series.
I didn't heed your warnings. Yeah,
right. I forgot that you then played Mario Galaxy, and I guess that hasn't stuck in my head as much because I guess you just played it and it was a good game.
Yeah, I played that. It was a good game. I'm sure I got frustrated at parts of it, but I mean, obviously it's a great game. I mean,
Sunshine is like Barry Ladd Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's one of
an all-timer.
Yeah, very proud of that one.
No, that's all.
I gotta do Galaxy 2 at some point. I still haven't played that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just on the telly golf, I did throw in here that it is, of course, 25 years since The Office.
It is. Fine theory.
Much conversation about that this week. I was thinking as well, maybe almost put a little bit of a explain and I wonder in here about it. I was kind of thinking, do you think it's almost bordered on a net negative that the success of that show kind of made that style of comedy the new default? That's what a sitcom is now. Is
sort of
characters committing social faux pas and then kind of standing around, which can be good. Obviously, we've sung a bunch of those comedies praises to the hilt over the years, but I'm kind of rooting for a little bit of a reset now. I'm kind of rooting for the Naked Guns of the world, the Lonely Islands of the world to kind of bring back the absurdist live action cartoon form of comedy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know what it's kind of that thing of it's easier to do, which is not to criticize The Office because I don't think they went the easy route.
No,
they did the cringe, but in a very funny way. But I think it's easier to just do cringe without actually being funny, and that's why it's kind of become the default. But yeah, I haven't laughed at a comedy in many years. I would say there are some sitcoms. I think Derry Girls, we mentioned earlier, is one that is a very high laugh rate. I think that's the thing. It's like watch very few sitcoms where you do have just gag, like 3 or 4 real laughs every minute. And you kind of think, well, why am I sitting here watching this comedy drama that's not really funny, but also the characters aren't really that deep, and I'm not really invested in the themes. It's like I'm getting kind of none of the drama, but also none of the laughs, no rewatch value. So yes, I totally agree. I would love to see that hybrid of the kind of modern sitcom style, but with just the gag rate of a more old school sitcom.
Yeah,
I don't know why that can't be done. Maybe it is. Maybe people say, "Oh, what about this show?" Yeah, the ones they always point out. Every sitcom, like, "Oh, this show, no, this comedy's great." I'm like, "It's always shit." Whatever people recommend, I'm like, "No, this is not funny at all in the slightest. It's just that cringe stuff." Like, yeah, I long for some decent comedies.
But then part of the influence of The Office hasn't even been the cringe stuff, but just the mockumentary style. So your stuff like Modern Family.
That's the other thing.
Isn't necessarily cringy, but it has talking heads and shot like a documentary or something.
Yeah, similar to what I said, it's like that is a lazy way to do it. It's a lazy way to make a show because you can just point the camera at someone, they talk. They didn't do that in The Office. They went to the lengths to make it very realistic as a documentary. But then you get other ones where it's like, oh, I'm going to say something funny at the camera right now, even though it doesn't make any sense. It's like, well, it's just laziness, isn't it? You just can't be bothered to set up a joke,
I hate the mockumentary thing has become so standard, and the amount of times you'll be watching a show and it's just shot like a multi-camera sitcom, but we stuck talking heads in it, so it's a mockumentary. I'm like, whereas The Office, it's like you could believe that this camera person is moving around this office in a very realistic fashion, shooting a fly on the wall documentary as we knew it. Like, it was very good. It was, mockumentaries have given up that idea of actually being mockumentaries in a weird way. Again, it's almost like one of those kind of like wrestling tropes we talk about. It's like, I feel like the people doing it now I feel like you've forgotten why things. You're doing it because it's the done thing, but I don't think you're actually getting why it's the done thing. You know what I mean? You're shooting things kind of shaky, and you've talking heads, but it doesn't feel like you're making a documentary. You know? Yeah, but yeah, it's interesting milestone. Still great. It's still a great show. If you haven't watched it somehow.
I do feel like the less and less I like Ricky Gervais as he brings out more and more stuff. I feel like I'm getting to the point where it is making me like The Office slightly less.
Oh, I don't think you should let, let it
I still love it. I still think it's great, but like even this 25th anniversary thing where Martin Freeman and
Mackenzie Crook.
What do they call him? Gareth Keenan. That's not his name.
Gareth Keenan.
What's the actor called?
Mackenzie Crook.
Mackenzie Crook. Where they did a little thing, a little reunion of sorts, and then Gervais's thing was he brought out a like top 25 funniest Brent moments, like top 25 funniest things I did
with him reacting to it. Yeah,
with him reacting to it, which ironically is incredibly Brentish. And it just made me think like I don't know if this guy was even in on the bit. Maybe he just legitimately thought that. I don't know. I just everything that guy does now.
I did see an amusing Blue Sky post with reference to this, obviously, this whole story of him just seemingly not wanting to acknowledge that anyone else was involved. So I did post about it. There was basically like, you should give Smirch some credit, mate. You were sitting under tables while this was being written. like there's hours of footage of you acting like a fool and taping yourself to office chairs while this acclaimed show was being written. You know, but yeah.
I mean, everything he's put out since 2013 has been absolutely awful. So
yeah,
make it out what you will.
Yeah, you're not rewatching Ghost Town.
I have never seen Ghost Town in my life. I've never watched Invention of Lying.
Oh, you should do like the Rock thing you did. You should watch all Gervais films. You should watch. I think that's listeners. If you think that's a great idea. Right, ChairShotPodcast.com is where you can go to drop an email, pick a poll from the drop down.
Which would be worse, the Rock filmography?
Certainly Gervais.
At this point, Gervais has never done a good film.
He's never been in a good film, yeah.
Muppets Most Wanted. It's the only good film he's ever been in.
All right, I'm on his letterbox right here.
Stardust.
Night of the Museum 2, The Muppets, the 2011 reboot, Stardust, Night of the Museum again. What's that? The Little Prince. What the fuck is that? Another Muppets movie. Okay, so first of all, he's been in a bunch. I think he gets a lot of work as a voice actor, which you want to talk. I mean, that's a good discourse topic in the media landscape in general. Is crap actors monopolizing all the voice acting gigs instead of actual voice actors getting the job. This guy has a million CGI animals on this page. Oh my god. The Invention of Lying.
It's funny if you sort by average rating highest. Ooh, you've got to scroll down until there's a movie. Let me tell you.
Oh my god. Because he's got that. People are also lambasting that he's got a Netflix, a rude adult animated show coming out where it's
Alley Cat.
And the cat is again just him, not changing his accent. How does he get away with it? Not changing his accent, not changing his type of humor, just doing his fucking bit as a cat. It's just so terrible. But yeah, anyway, you got Muppets, you've got a bunch of CGI kids movies. For your consideration, never even heard of it. Ghost Town, of course, which is terrible. His stand-up shows, we know what we think of those.
Derek.
Is Derek on here?
Derek down there. It's the eighth one down.
SpongeBob. David Blaine? What the fuck? Oh my god. Yeah, so I think you should take this on. I think this should be your...
No.
And you have to watch the stand-ups as well.
Imagine. I hear his new stand-up, since he can't be cancelled, now he's going to actually say the things that nobody else was saying. What? I thought that was your shtick for the last...
It's worth remembering, by the way, on the 25th anniversary of The Office, that with such little fanfare, he did bring back David Brent for a film. And of course it was crap.
Yeah.
And that one won't be coming up too much in conversations about the 25th anniversary of The Office and its legacy is that film, which of course he wrote and directed himself.
I'm surprised number one on his list of Brent moments wasn't from the movie. the moment where they all realize that actually he's lovely and
Yeah, I mean, it really is. It's the same exact arc on The Office, but it not earned at all and like completely ham-fisted. It's so Jarrett-ized, you know.
Very good artwork. I like it.
Oh, excellent. Oh, very good. That's one where folks are really gonna have to listen to get it. Yeah, I'm looking on this. I'm on the letterbox page for the David Brent movie, and I've got a review here I already liked. It says it's from Matt Chrisman: "Quit while you're behind, Ricky." Oh, excellent. Anyway, that's going to do it for the show. Did you get any game guff or anything, Paul? Just
no game guff for me.
Yeah, I'm still playing the same stuff.
I've just been thinking about in 9 years' time where you guys meet up and do your CSP reunion, and I do top 25 Paul moments.
Here's where I broke the squirt gun, of course. A famously well-received moment, and I never really got any flack from anyone because it was just me talking about it, you know.
Yeah, all those quizzes were well made.
And I couldn't read all the emails telling me how great the quizzes were. I was like, God, I don't have enough time.
Forgot the login for the bloody address.
ChairShotPodcast.com, as I mentioned, is where you can go to send us an email, give feedback on the show. What do you think about wrestling? What do you think about The Office? It's also where you can go to check out the Fantasy League in real time. Paul does a great job updating that. And yeah, we'd love to hear from you. Until so what is the final next week? The World Cup finals?
Yeah, next Sunday.
Next Sunday.
What time is that?
8 o'clock.
Oh, is it? Bastards! Counter programming again. We'll figure something out, listeners. We'll sort something out, and you'll have a show in some capacity. I think it would probably make more sense to just wait one until after, and you can talk about it.
It'll probably be a Monday.
It might be a Monday jobby, so Tuesday for you folks next week by the time you hear it. But yeah, watch the socials and watch your podcast catcher of choice, and we will be talking to you very soon. So it's goodbye from me, Barry. It's goodbye from Paul.
Goodbye.
It's goodbye from Joe.
Goodbye.
Chris, why don't you fuck off?